Daddy. Turn it up there, mate. Get the tunes going there. If you do a twirl there first night, you're looking good there, mate. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Well done. Now, come here. Let's see, can I help you out there now? With all your posts on social media, you are the buck.
No, you're an agent. You really are.
I typed into Google a dress song.
It's a cracking tune, actually.
It is a good tune.
You've been inspired to that's put him under pressure, put a real smile on my face this morning.
Yeah, Katrina.
Because you'd never pick that. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to pick that, are you? Unless we were advanced in a competition or something.
Yeah, but there's such gems out there, like that suit that you wore and won that best. But anyway,
I should possibly give McElhenney's a mention because it was a McElhenney suit.
So are you upselling now? You see,
No,
now?
I think. Oh no, no. Did you not see? There's a story in the papers today about the taxman and stuff like that.
Oh yes,
no.
I've seen about them, about influencers and stuff.
No, but in fairness, it's a local company. You know
it
what
is.
I mean?
No,
And,
but
credit where it's due. And listen, I think they just gave it to me to be polite.
Yeah, but come here, listen to me. Did you sell the sofa for €200?
Well, no, I'll take less than that. Do you want it?
No, listen to me. Listen to me.
Someone said, "Oh, that'd be handy for the dogs." I don't care if you put your goats on it.
No,
just get it out
Lady
of my
Gaga
house.
wouldn't get her big bum on it. But listen to me.
Massive.
Listen to me. Lady Gaga's a donkey, by the way. Just in case I'm talking about Lady Gaga, the singer. Here's what I was. You could have did something fun with that. You could have said, "Look, did a wee video right," and you could have said, "You know how everybody says, put your hand down the back of the sofa. There might be some money." You says, "I'm going to slip €50 down the back of the sofa, but I'm still looking for 200."
Everything is content. Sometimes you just want to get rid of a sofa.
Yeah, but it's a nice sofa. Very plush.
Yes.
It's the kind of sofa that nobody used. Is that in the attic space, is it?
Yeah, ish.
Yeah. I think I know that room, do I? I seen it.
I need a little bit of space. I need space. And, for a couple of projects I'm working on.
Oh, yeah. What are you working on, Greg?
No, I'm only joking. I need the space, and it's beautiful. But
it is. That was a spare sofa. That was a spare one.
It was bought, and it was never really used.
Yeah. I know. I know what you're talking about.
Lee, listen,
it's a pleasure as always.
It's been wonderful.
Well
enjoy the weather. Remember I predicted the weeks of good weather? There you go.
No, you
arrived.
didn't.
Yes, I did.
You're just jumping on the
Play it
bandwagon.
back. Play it back.
Play back.
Take
Rewind.
care.
Oh, good luck. Right.
Okay, it is just after 9, a minute past 9. The 9 till noon show about to kick off. But first, let's get a news update at 9 o'clock, 9:01. And it's over to Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. Gardaí have renewed their appeal for information regarding the death of a man in his late 70s in a crash at the weekend. Danny Gallagher from the Glebe in Downings was the driver of a van involved in the single vehicle collision on the R245 at Carrigart at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, 3 women have been killed in 2 serious crashes in North Cork and Waterford, 2 of them in Mallow, the other in Dungarvan. With more, here's Cliona O'Dwyer.
Both women in the crash in Mallow were killed when 2 cars collided at Navigation Road and the N72 at around 10 to 4 yesterday afternoon. The woman in her 60s was driving the first car and the woman in her 40s was driving the second car. 2 children, a girl and a boy, who were passengers in the second car, have been injured and are being treated at Cork University Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. The bodies of both women have been brought to the mortuary at Cork University Hospital for a post-mortem examination. Separately, a woman in her 60s has been killed in a serious 3-car crash at Moonameen in Dungarvan. 3 other people have been injured after it happened on the N25 yesterday afternoon.
Uisce Éireann has confirmed work on the water main from Clonmany to Bindoran will start earlier than planned. The section of mains has been the subject of regular bursts, including a significant one within the past 2 weeks, which left some homes and businesses without water for almost 24 hours. Local councillor Martin McDermott says he's now been told the work will get underway this week, with hopes it'll be complete before the end of the summer.
I got confirmation on Friday evening that Irish Water have now moved the money to the pipe. It was to be done in 2026. They're now going to do it in 2025. Some of that work commenced within this week, where they were starting to do trial holes, and they hope to have the work complete within the next 3 to 4 months with that new pipe being replaced, which should alleviate a lot of the problems in that particular area.
Meanwhile, in Letterkenny, repairs to a burst water main may cause supply disruptions to James Larkin Court, Old Town and surrounding areas. Works set to take place there until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And pay-related social welfare changes come into effect today for people with a strong work history. Anyone who becomes unemployed from the TAY and has made at least 5 years of PRSI contributions will have their job seekers benefit linked to their previous earnings. It's split into 3 different payments rates over 13 weeks, starting at a maximum of €450 a week before falling to €375 and then €300 before a weekly minimum of €125 applies. Suzanne Rogers from Social Justice Ireland says it's a better system.
It will all depend on how long you were working and what your wages were. All of those things will be taken into account. So there will be different payments linked to that. It will be paid for a shorter period of time than the current job seekers benefit, with the understanding that when they actually looked at the figures, most people who lost a job were back in employment quite quickly within the 6 months.
Mist and fog gradually clearing this morning, leaving a dry day with a mix of cloud and sunny spells. Top temperatures today 14 to 16, light to moderate southerly winds. Tonight dry with long clear spells developing. Lowest overnight temperatures 5 to 7 with light to moderate south to southeast winds. A similar day tomorrow, dry and sunny. Top temperatures 12 to 15. That's Highland Radio News. Back with more at 10 o'clock.
Choose technology. Choose versatility. Choose experience. Karcher pressure washers. Now available at your local hardware and electrical retailer. Choose Karcher.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. It's 9:05 on this Monday, the 31st of March 2025. You're very welcome along to the 9 till Noon Show here in Highland Radio. And it is the start of another week. And, well, weather-wise, it's going to be a nice week, improving right through. And in fact, there's some talk of very little rainfall for the next 2 weeks, which invariably means we'll have a water ban on Tuesday, does it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that anyway. But listen, if you're across the Northwest or wherever you're listening to us today, a very good morning to you. 086 60 25 000 is the WhatsApp and text number. We'd love to hear from you. You can send your WhatsApp voice notes to that number as well. If you want to give us a call, it's 074 91 25 000. And emails come in to us at comments@highlandradio.com. And if you want to watch the show, maybe it suits you. If you're at home or working from home or working in the home, we're on the YouTube app, Highland Radio Ireland. So that means you can watch us on your smart TV that has that app installed, and your Fire Stick as well. And then we're on Facebook and we're on the X platform as well. There is a great picture we mentioned and had a bit of fun a little earlier on, but it's a very high honour that was bestowed on John MacArthur. He is the 2024 Donegal Person of the year. He was there with his wife Breda, looking absolutely stunning. The two did, and we had a fantastic night on Saturday night, and it was a wonderful event. Fantastic music from a local group of lads as well, and it was just full of Donegal people, and there was a really great atmosphere. And it was great to see John get the credit that he deserves, and some wonderful videos played out. And he enjoyed it, I think. The whole family did, and it was great fun. It really was great fun. So fair play to all of the crew behind the Donegal Association. And it's in the Bonington, of course. And I had a great chat with Martin down there. And he's a lovely man from a lovely family as well. And it was all great fun. So congratulations to John, and well done to everyone involved in that super event. The clocks went forward during it, and I didn't realise. And I thought, well, what time is it? Anyway, there you go. Okay, let's get to the news, and it's a really, really sad story that leads the front of the Derry People Donegal News. The funeral of the man who died in the fatal road collision in Carragart on Saturday afternoon is expected to take place this week. The man was yesterday named locally as Danny Gallagher from Dundone in Downings. Mr. Gallagher, who was in his late 70s, was pronounced dead at the scene of the single vehicle collision, which occurred on the R245 at Carragart at around 1 p.m. A well-known builder in the community, Mr. Gallagher's sudden passing has left Downings in mourning. His funeral arrangements had still to be confirmed last night. His death marks the fourth road fatality in Donegal in as many weeks. And of course, and I presume it might feature on the Community Garda information item tomorrow. As with all of these incidences, Garda are looking for anyone who has any witnesses, dash cam footage, or who witnessed anything, in dash cam footage, etc. It just means that they can obviously find answers themselves, but also maybe pass any information on to family, etc. And that's why it's important, if you have any info in these appeals, is to let the Gardaí know. The Derry News reports that this morning that the vandalising of a Derry Sinn Féin office has been condemned. The party's Eastway office in Cregan was targeted by members of the group Eastgee, is it? Eastgee is the youth wing of the dissident Republican Party Sora. Black paint was daubed on the walls of the Sinn Féin constituency office with the words "Collaborators" painted on the ground outside. Now on to the Nationals, and what do you think about this? People with a consistent work history who lose their job are to receive €450 a week, which is, I would say that's close on to the average take-home in Donegal, after tax and deductions. I would say it's not far off it anyway. So if you've a consistent work history and you lose your job, €450 per week, it's almost double the current dole amount as part of a new welfare initiative from today. The new payment is part of a major welfare reform as outlined in the programme for government. This scheme replaces the existing job seekers benefit for people who become unemployed and have enough PRSI contributions for the scheme. It's open for applications from people whose first day of unemployment is today. Applications need to be made within 6 weeks of losing a job. Job seekers pay related benefit, as it's called, means the amount of dole a person receives is linked to their previous earnings, subject to a maximum of €450 and a minimum of €125. The introduction of the new benefit brings Ireland in line with other EU countries. So obviously, and maybe we might see more of it, we hope we don't, of people losing their jobs through no fault of their own. And it can be very hard to go from what you might be earning down to what the social welfare payment is. But if you have worked a certain amount of time, you've got a strong work history, €450 per week, which might help make a difficult situation more tolerable until such time as alternative employment is found. So on the face of it, it seems like a good move from government. Would you agree? 086 60 25,000. The Irish Times reports about these new changes to the insurance system, whereby they're trying to close loopholes, right? Whereby you can't get insurance unless you give your driver number. And the whole idea, I presume, is this was to keep disqualified drivers off the road, or at least from not having insurance. Well, it might not work. There's always a loophole with the road traffic laws, it would seem. Disqualified drivers may still be able to obtain insurance despite new regulations coming into effect today, requiring insurance companies to obtain driver numbers before providing cover. The new system commences as it emerged. Just 3% of banned learner drivers surrender their licence, 3% to the courts to have their ban recorded over the past 5 years, while only 8% of disqualified drivers with full licences did so. Now, what I don't, I'm not a goody two-shoes, don't get me wrong, but if I went to court and I was banned from driving and they said, we need your licence, I'd go, there you go. How does 97% of learner drivers know that you don't actually really need to hand in your licence? Or how does 92% of fully qualified drivers know that? How do they know, well, you can hold on to your licence and there's this advantage or that advantage? Or maybe you're not asked for it. I don't know, but it seems that I'm surprised that the majority know that you don't have to or don't do it. But from 2020 to the end of last year, 40,282 drivers with full licences were disqualified, but only 3,200 surrendered them, allowing the disqualification to be recorded. For the same period, 9,316 learner drivers were disqualified, but just 325 surrendered their permits for the conviction. To be noted, if their disqualification is not recorded, Gardaí and insurance companies may not be able to determine that the ban is in place, and also because of IT difficulties. So even with this new rule coming into place, the system that records disqualification is actually really voluntary by the looks of things. And if you haven't submitted your licence after a ban, you could just go and get insurance anyway. So it's talk about, you could drive a bus through that loophole, couldn't you? On to the Irish Independent and a bit of international news. Lucy Letby is probably innocent, one of the UK's most distinguished judges has said. Jonathan Sumptum, a former Supreme Court judge, wrote in the Sunday Times that the case against the former neonatal nurse was based entirely on inferences from circumstantial evidence. I know a lot of you have followed this story and watched the various dramas and documentaries on it, as well as tracking it in the news. She very strongly maintains her innocence. Well, Letby's serving 15 full life terms for the murder of of 7 infants, and the attempted murders of 7 more at the Countess of Chester Hospital. However, there are growing fears that the case could be a miscarriage of justice and concerns about how evidence was presented in her trials. We can only hope that the Letby case will not be added to the long and depressing list of uncorrected miscarriages of justice in the English courts, he wrote. These injustices destroy lives and discredit the whole system of criminal justice. A whole life order is a terrible thing. So effectively, a whole life order means you never get out of prison. But there seems to be, certainly amongst the judiciary and others, and some experts in medical fields, more and more doubt being cast over the reliability of that conviction. You would know the presidential election has to take place this year, and Conor McGregor, he has thrown his hat in the ring, but he needs a certain level of support before he can do so. And reading in the Star today, Conor McGregor has been informed there's not a hope in hell of him securing the position of President of Ireland. Would this be a little bit like sort of sending a message, you know, like, I'm not comparing Conor McGregor to Dustin the Turkey, but there was a level of sort of dissatisfaction with the whole Eurovision or the judging of it or the way it's run, and we sent the turkey over. And I just wonder if Conor McGregor did get on the ballot, if in some way he could be seen as a protest vote against the establishment. If not, if you fancied backing him for what he stands for. But the Dublin native is insistent on running for Arsenal later this year, despite it seeming almost impossible for him to even secure a nomination. Sky News published the results of a survey they conducted involving 104 TDs and 30 senators. So it's, a big proportion of the two houses. The feedback included a range of comments from not a hope in hell to I could not think of anyone more unfit, and I would genuinely rather we didn't have a president at all. For McGregor to run for the presidency, he would need to be nominated by at least 20 members of the Oireachtas, TDs or senators. I mean, you imagine that is possibly achievable. Or by at least 4 local authorities. That seems less likely because it would have to be the unanimous support of a local authority. And I don't think, given some of the history of Conor McGregor, I'm not sure any local authority would want to be, even if some was sympathetic to his views, would want to be associated with him. So it seems unlikely, although perhaps maybe he could achieve 20 members of the Oireachtas or senators. Would you like him to run? If so, why? Let us know. 086 60 25,000. Should he be allowed to run rather than having a system that kind of really, you have to sort of impress politicians you might oppose to get onto the ballot? Do you know what I mean? So if you want to be a sort of anti-establishment, so anti-organised politics, you never really can run from president because a council's not going to back you, are they? And it's going to be hard to get 20 elected members to vote for Christmas, so to speak. So maybe those rules need to be changed to make it more fairer, especially if we want to hear not necessarily McGregor's, but sort of more diverse names on the ballot paper. I don't know. It was interesting. Frances Black was on the Late Late Show on Friday where she semi-launched her presidential campaign, but it kind of puts the RTE in a sticky wicket because really anyone who sort of is intent on running as the president really would need an equal crack of the whip on the Late Late Show, wouldn't they? Talking of politics, support for Fine Gael has slipped to its lowest ever at just 17%. Leader Simon Harris will be concerned by the party's worst ever results in the Red Sea Sunday Business Post poll since it began in 2005. But Fine Gael, whose support fell 3 points, is still the third most popular party after Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin, who were tied on 22%. They emerged neck and neck after Taoiseach Micheál Martin's party increased their popularity by 2 points while Mary Lou McDonald's dropped a point. I wonder why Fine Gael's support is down 5 points behind the two parties, really, effectively. I can't think of anything that's particularly attributable to Fine Gael because Fianna Fáil are on the up. Simon Harris is Fine Gael on the way down. And it's kind of interesting. Sinn Féin are the joint biggest party, but it's never reported as that. It's always sort of it's always reported as the context of other parties, and then they get a mention. And finally, in the Irish Daily Mirror, but it's certainly not the least significant story. We have all watched on in horror, I think, as Bangkok and other parts of that region were devastated by a incredibly powerful earthquake, and twisted steel rods wind through crumbled concrete like tree roots at the destroyed State Audit Office in Bangkok. Up to 80 construction workers were buried under tons of rubble, some surviving in pockets of safety while the 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck. And accidentally ended up, hopefully speaking to someone from this area who's over there at the moment. We're hopefully getting in touch with them before the end of the show. But, excuse me, there was an image I saw, or a video I saw on social media of a man who was in a crane, and the earthquake struck, and it's clearly perished. And I just wonder where we got to the point where we're so desensitized, seemingly, by this stuff, that it's just perfectly okay to post someone perishing on the internet, and everyone interacting and talking about it. Like, I don't like looking at that stuff, because I just don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good. And I just wonder, at what point did it come okay just to sort of stick someone's death like that on the internet, and everyone just to sort of, in a very nonplussed way, comment about it? You know, we really have, I don't think it's progress anyway, that person perishes like that, and for his family maybe to see it on social media, it doesn't feel right to me anyway. But that's okay. I'm not saying it should be banned or anything. It's just my view. 086 60 25,000. That's the WhatsApp and text number. 086 60 25,000. Or if you prefer, give us a call on 074 91 25,000.
Daily newspapers are courtesy of Cosgrove, Centra and Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
The costs don't stop if you lose your job, so a sudden loss in income can be hard. That's why we are introducing Job Seekers Pay-Related Benefit to help people who have been working and lose their job. This scheme will be available to those who become unemployed from the 31st of March. To find out if you are eligible, visit gov.ie/JPRB. A Government of Ireland initiative brought to you by the Department of Social Protection.
Hi, ma'am. Yeah, we've hit the road. Should be there in about an hour. They're so excited to see you. Everyone, say hi to Granny.
With up to 7 seats, the all-new Volkswagen Tayron has more space for families of all shapes and sizes and breeds. Also available as plug-in hybrid. Search Volkswagen Tayron or visit your local dealer.
George, I told you to go before we left.
Volkswagen.
Order your 251 with Connolly's Volkswagen Letterkenny. See connolly's.ie.
For strong, unique, weather-resistant homes, choose Cedral Exteriors. Our fibre cement roof slates and wall cladding ranges are built to last for generations, exceeding EU quality standards. Members of Guaranteed Irish, our products are locally made and beautifully designed, offering long-term peace of mind. Visit cedral.ie. Cedral Exteriors. Strength guaranteed.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is
9:22. A texter says, Greg, have you ever got insurance without showing your licence? I can't say for certain. But the whole idea is that people who have been banned they aren't handing their licence in. So if they look for a picture of it, you can, even though you've been suspended from driving, seemingly you can just take a picture of your licence, send it on, and get insurance. That's the whole point there. Right, we're joined on the programme now by the Cathaoirleach of the Inishowen Municipal District, Councillor Jack Murray. Good morning, Jack. Thanks very much for your time.
Good morning, Greg.
Unfortunately, we're speaking in the context of just wanton vandalism, damage to an area. I don't understand what goes on, but tell us what did go on.
Yeah, late Saturday night, Sunday morning, a car managed to smash through the fence of the festival park, the play park in the shorefront in Buncrana. It seemed to have gone in at one point and drove back out, smashing the fence again on the other side. So obviously everybody in Buncrana is absolutely outraged as what had happened. The park is beloved by everybody in the town, young children and visitors as well. Like it's a very special place. So how somebody could have done this, either the accident or intent, is beyond me. But I've been in touch with the local Gardaí. There will be a criminal investigation on it. The number of people who was in the area contacted me with different bits of information, so I've no doubt that those responsible will be apprehended, and I think they should foot the bill to restore this park. But at this point, I would be asking everybody through your show, if they do know any information, to come forward and contact me or contact the Gardaí, and we'll get to the bottom of this and get the park that we all love restored ASAP.
Yeah, and if it was an accident, it might be in the best interests of whomever's responsible to come forward. It always is. That's what the Gardaí say. Come forward, say, look, that was me, and I'll contribute to the repairs. It was a mistake. It was an accident. And because I have a sense from your commentary that Gardaí might end up tracking down whomever's responsible anyway.
I say it's a very built-up area. There's a lot of people around at that point, so there's enough information. I think this person will be apprehended, but I do think it is in their interest to come forward. It was an accident. It was extremely reckless driving. It's a straight road near a bend, but to go off and lose control at that point, I think you'd have to be driving at a very heavy speed and very recklessly to be able to do that. So it was an accident. There's consequences to that too, but it seems that they did through one point of the fence and drove back out through another, so they didn't just head back and reverse out. They continued through and did more damage than what was originally done. So either way, what happens is absolutely disgraceful.
All right, okay. Now, I mean, obviously, we would all like whomever's responsible to foot the bill, but I presume because it's such an important local facility that you would. Is it the council that are responsible for the Festival Park, I beg your pardon?
Yeah, the council maintained it, but this is a park that was bought by the community of Buncrana.
Okay.
The park was raised fundraising from the voluntary Buncrana Festival, and it was additional money that was raised from that paid for the.
All right, the line's not fantastic, Councillor, so we'll leave it there. That's Councillor Jack Murray Cahirlock of the Inishowen Municipal District talking of that damage. If you're watching the show, you'll see it is quite extensive and it's going to be quite expensive. The fence seems to be has took the brunt of that, which is very important, obviously, to keep people who are in there safe and secure. Right, thanks very much, Jack Murray there. Councillor Paul Canning is with us as well. Councillor Canning, thanks very much for your time.
No problem, Greg, thank you.
Right, now, what happened in Newtown, Cunningham?
Yeah, sometime on Saturday evening, Saturday night, there was 3 trees broke on the main street. It's trees that we had put up last year, the year before, in relation to the developments on the main street in Newton Cunningham. So these trees, in fairness, they got a year and they were starting to bud just basically this last few days. So whenever we are waking up on the Sunday morning, 3 of them were damaged. And listen, it's disappointing for the village, given that on Saturday the tidy towns were out doing their litter pickup, as they were in a lot of towns in Inishowen. So a big thank you to them for doing the litter pick. But you know, it's a wee bit disheartening then when you see these trees damaged or broke. You know.
Yeah, when I first saw the pictures, I couldn't figure out what had actually happened, but it makes sense now. These had been planted and they were starting to take root and starting to bud. Yeah. But they'd still be pretty susceptible. Someone's just snapped them off or pulled them off.
Yeah. It's hard. At times it's hard to understand what's going on in the person's head that makes them, take it out in small trees along the main road, And now we, as the town group and as the working with the council, we will get them fixed and we will get them repaired and replaced as soon as we possibly can. But it's just the timing of the year for when you need to put them in, and it takes these trees a long time to get mature, and it's just not sit back a couple of years, which is more it's more difficult to take than anything else.
It is criminal damage. It's illegal, and with that in mind, you are offering, if I'm correct, a reward to anyone who can help find those responsible.
That's correct. Either a €500 reward for anyone, because there is going to, at the end of the day, if I'm not saying they are, but if it's a person below a certain age, the parents are responsible, and if not, the person themselves responsible. So we need to get to the bottom of it, because if we don't nip it, now, it gets more serious crime then done within the village. And in fairness to the village of Newton, it's a quaint village, and there's not that much damage does be done in the village in relation to that. So I would like to try and keep it that way. And don't get me wrong, like there's always people running about and carrying on and messing about, but they're not actually doing damage to property. And that's like the first time that there's been damage done, and like we will be doing a play park and that in the village, and I don't want to be sort of going the same direction as talking about, you know.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so Saturday night, this happened. 3 trees damaged. You've a €500 reward for anyone that offers information that leads to the conviction of the people or persons responsible.
Even a dash cam might have been going through the street and realised that, you know, or it might get a time frame where one vehicle might have it when you're driving one part of the street that they weren't broken, and then coming back down the street they were broken. So it ties it down to an exact time as well. So anything can help, you know what I mean?
Another example of something completely pointless, absolutely pointless. But as you say, you know, if someone's able to do that, what might they do in a year or 2 years? And the best for them to have a word with the Gardaí now. Okay.
Yeah,
Councillor Paul Canning, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye, Paul. That's a €500 reward to anyone offering information that leads to the conviction of the people or persons responsible that damaged those 3 trees in the Newtown Cunningham area. They'd actually only been planted last year. They were starting to take root and bud, and that's all been undone now. And of course, we also heard from Councillor Jack Murray, as it relates on Saturday night as well. Significant damage to the festival park at the shorefront. It's a community funded and very much serving up for the community facility. And if you were watching, you would have seen pictures. I'm sure those pictures will be up on our website at some point as well. And another appeal to that person or persons responsible to come forward and fix the mess you made. 086 60 25,000 WhatsApp and texts if you want to raise your issues with us. Good morning, Greg. Just to let people know that there's some people out there. My son needed some assistance. Sorry, there's some good people out there. My son needed some assistance Saturday night, March 15th in Letterkenny. A woman called Anne Bennett came to his assistance. We think she may be from Donegal Town. Just a big thank you, Anne. She has my son's phone number, and I'd love to thank her personally. That comes in from Joan and Tim. They sent a wee note in to us. So maybe Anne doesn't want to come forward. She'll know exactly what this listener is talking about. She came to the assistance of a young lad. And that lad's parents, Joan and Tim, are very grateful. You have the young lad's phone number. They'd love to have an opportunity to thank you in person. So there you go. An act of kindness and assistance by the sounds of things there.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Do you need a UK address? Save hundreds of euros on custom charges shopping online with Space Hub Dairy. We provide a full virtual office address mailbox service for all your business and personal use. Save your business hundreds, possibly thousands, on custom charges with Space Hub Dairy. Call 048 7187 8077 for more details.
This is an important message for all drivers. From March 31st, the law is changing. When you renew or take out motor insurance, you'll need to provide your driver number. It's on your driving licence, listed under point 4D, so make sure you have it to hand. Without your driver number, you won't get insured. Double check that you have your licence, and if you can't find it, take steps to have a valid licence in time for your insurance renewal date. This message is brought to you by Insurance Ireland and the Motor Insurers Bureau of Ireland in support of a Government of Ireland initiative.
For all your pharmacy needs, visit the new Brennan's Pharmacy in Letterkenny, now open at the Fort Retail Park right across from the new Dunn Stores and Costa Coffee. With 600 free parking spaces in a convenient location, we're ready to help with all types of prescriptions, medicines, pharmacist advice, vaccinations, plus an extensive range of skincare, vitamins, gifts and much more. Can't make it in? We offer local home delivery within 10 kilometres of Letterkenny. Perfect when getting into town is tough. So for all your pharmacy and prescription needs, trusted advice and friendly service, come to the new Brennan's Pharmacy Letterkenny. Call us at 074 970 8060. We're here for you.
All right, some of your comments coming in this morning. Hi, Greg, says Raymond. If Conor McGregor is not on the presidential ballot, then Ireland is not a democracy. If McGregor cannot run, then neither can I. since both of us are not part of the corrupt old boys and girls establishment club and are effectively banned as Irish citizens. But should there be any bar that one has to reach to sort of qualify you for that office, do you think? And this is a question. I know he's appealing it, but he's been found civilly liable in front of his peers to have very seriously assaulted a woman. That's there. I know it's a civil conviction. There has been video footage of other activities that he's been involved in. Should anyone, regardless of what they've been found liable for, either criminally or civilly, be excluded from running from that office? Or maybe not. I don't know. Sure, look what's happening in America. As the president is a non-political position, it doesn't seem right that politicians have to nominate possible candidates, says a listener. And surely if Michael Lowry is allowed to remain connected to government after his disgraceful behaviour, then why not Connor? Yeah, well, that is the problem. Whilst it is sort of apolitical, it is controlled by political people. You have to get the approval of councillors to a certain extent to get the local authority backing, or 20 senators or TDs. And if they don't fancy that candidate's chances, or perhaps they think they might beat their own candidate, are they going to nominate them? It's a funny old system, all right. Hi, Greg. Can we all say good luck to Donegal this weekend in Ballybofey? They start their defence of the Ulster title. A much needed positive boost for the county. Given the weather, it's going to be nice. I hope to see as many supporters out in their colours and shops get their flags out. It makes such a difference, and the buzz in Ballybofey will be fantastic, much needed. Hey, the problem is getting tickets. There's going to be more people want to go to that game than there are going to be tickets available, I would imagine, especially given the fact that it's a local club we're playing, and there'll be a big demand from them. Yeah, in terms of the bunting and the flags and what have you, it's lovely to see it out. When does it come out, though? Does it come out maybe if you're lucky enough to get towards an Ulster final or what? I don't know. But yeah, there'll be a great buzz in the county leading up to that. And as you say, it's going to be a lovely dry day in Ballybofey as well. A caller says, I renewed my insurance last week over the phone and asked the broker if they wanted my licence number, and they said no. They told me it was no use to them as only the Garda could access that info. Yeah, so maybe it's something that's been announced that's not sort of fully in place yet. Right, okay. We are joined on the programme now by Tara. Good morning to you, Tara. Thanks so much for your time.
Morning, Greg. How are you getting on?
I'm doing good, Tara. You're highlighting a safety issue, traffic lights at St Mary's National School in Castlefin. What's the story there, Tara?
Well, they've been out now since Storm 1, and that was January. And they're in green constantly. They're not changing.
Right.
And the traffic assume that the lights are green, that they can go ahead. But I'm taking children across and have to use a lollipop stick now. I do the crossing here as well as working in the school. So it's very dangerous. Last week they were announcing to a lorry, you know. It could have been serious. And we've highlighted a lot of times to the council and all, but to no avail as yet.
Right, we need to get this sorted ASAP. Tara, it sounds like to me they'd be better off than stuck on green.
Exactly. If they were off altogether, you know, but the cars are coming down from the Ballybofey direction and up from the Lifford direction, especially Ballybofey direction. They think it's okay, go ahead and green.
Yeah.
And the children crossing in the morning, you know, when there's about 20 or 25 children crossing there every morning, you know.
Yeah, no excuse
and,
for
and
it.
And even there's going to be a handling yet, you know.
Right, so do you think, are you using Storm Owen as a timeline, Tara, or do you believe that something happened during the storm that's damaged them?
Well, that's when they went out. They were grand before the storm, but after the storm, then they haven't worked since.
All right, well, we need to get onto this ASAP then. So it's the traffic lights, they're permanently on, effectively on green at St Mary's National School, Castlefin. It's giving motorists a full sense of security there, because if they're not red or orange, they're green, which means go, of course. I think they'd be better off. They'd be better off than stuck on green. And you had talked. How much can you tell us about the near miss that you had, Tara?
Well, it was a lorry coming. He thought he could go ahead, and actually, it was my son was doing it that morning, and he the lorry didn't stop. It just passed him before he could stop, and he was in the middle of the road with a stick and a couple of children there, you know.
Wow. Okay.
So, and he got abusive then as well, apparently. And he gave one of the parents here. He gave one of the parents, a woman. He gave her a V sign, you know. But I think she reported it to the company. She phoned the company about it. So, you know, that's the way it's going on, you know. And that's a couple of times that has happened, like. So
right, okay.
There's going to be something.
All right, listen, I mean, I twigged it straight away, and I'm not the brightest spark in the box. They need to be off if they're not working because, you know, there's no excuse for that lorry driver's behaviour. But if you're, as a motorist, you probably drive yourself, Tara, you know yourself, if you see green, that generally means things are okay. So there are traffic lights at St. Mary's National School, Castlefin. Let's see how quickly we can get it sorted. We're going to make our calls and contacts. It's possible that someone with responsibility for this doesn't realise the urgency of it, and maybe they will, and we can get it sorted. And the likes of yourself doing great work, and your son helping young people across the road too. We don't want you put in danger either. So thanks for that, Tara. Leave it with us. Let's see what we can do about that.
No bother, Greg. Thanks very much.
Salam.
Much appreciated.
Bye-bye, Tara. It's our pleasure. It is what we are here for. Anything like that, get in touch with us. 086 60 25,000. Good morning. I want to make your listeners aware of something that happened to me regarding the local property tax. I thought my house had gone up in value, which moved me to the next valuation band. So on this year's payment for 24, I changed the valuation and then paid the extra. On Friday, I got an aggressive letter from Revenue stating that I owed LPT for 22, 23 and 24. They backdated and applied the new house value for all these years. I rang this morning but have not got a resolution yet, and I'm waiting on a call back. No good deed goes unpunished. Be careful if you change your house value, even if you increase it for the LPT. It seems a little unfair, so they believed that they were in the higher band. A lot of people, caller, are listening going, oh, really? You did that? But anyway, you thought you were doing the right thing. And the property market is moving, of course. So when the caller moved their house value to the next band, the LPT went up for last year. But Revenue, rather than saying, oh, thank you, you're very honest, they said, okay, well, we best backdate now, 22, 23. So that good deed has in fact gone punished, if you know what I'm saying. Right. Morning, Greg. They know about the driver license loophole because their solicitors tell them about it. Well, I wasn't saying that, but often I just wonder what is the common factor in all of those things. Mary says, hi Greg, Rosina Toner spoke to you last week regarding the need for major improvement in cancer services at LUH. Can you announce that anyone who can spare even a half hour today will call to the front gates of the hospital to show their support? Indeed, Rosina was on with Michaela, I believe. I missed Rosina. I did speak to her previously. We're sending some of the team down there to chat to whomever might be there as well. So could you just, Caroline, when is that thing on at Letterkenny University Hospital? Has it started yet? Or could you get me the times for when? Yes, please. 9, so they're there at the moment. And you know what? It'd be nice if you do support them, and why wouldn't you? If you're driving past, give them a wee toot to the horn, because it can be a long stand there from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and a wee bib can offer that little bit of support. Okay, let me go now to my next caller, who is Brian Hassan. Good morning to you, Brian. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate you speaking to us.
Yes. Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm okay, Brian. And how are you? Because you had what can only be described as a very near miss.
I did indeed. Yes, I'm glad to be here. It was a very, very close shave.
Right.
In all my years of driving, I don't think I've ever been as close to a major collision. It was ludicrous. I don't know what the other driver was thinking. But I'm definitely glad to be still here and not lying in the hospital bed or worse.
All right, so when and where? What happened?
On Tuesday, I was coming back from Belfast and driving along the A5 and past Canavan's at used to be Kelly's or Garvahi. So I'd coming on to a part of the road called the Kerr Road. And as I came around the corner, I looked for a second, I thought, what's that? And I realised there was a bus coming towards me, but on my side of the road, overtaking the bus was a van. And people talk about your life flashing before you. That did happen. There was a brief second I thought, I'm going to be killed here. I started immediately braking, and realised even if I got stopped, it wasn't going to be sufficient room for the van to get past. And the bus is probably going, I think the buses normally travel with just at the speed limit, so he's probably doing 60. So this guy's doing in excess of 60 coming towards me. And at the last minute, I went onto the verge and the van got past. And my immediate reaction was to check the mirror to make sure the car behind me was okay as well. And unlike other, when you have close shaves, normally the adrenaline rush, your body starts shaking after everything else. There was complete calmness. I was just glad to be alive. And it's just highlights the need for care when people are out driving. I mean, leave early, don't take chances. But no, it definitely was the closest I've ever been in 40 years. And again, highlights the other issues that's been raised. I think there is an appeal going on. They have 5 appeals going on again. And I mean, people say, oh, it's driver error, recklessness, whatever. Yes, there's that. But it also does highlight the fact that road has not been upgraded. And there's the volume of traffic's increasing dramatically. I think it's increased 10% in the last 10 years, and it's going to increase by 30% in the next few years. So there's a whole lot of issues involved there. I'm glad that I didn't become, I'm not going to say statistic, because every person that's been killed on that road is a mother, father, son, daughter. I'm glad I didn't become one of those fatalities.
Do you know what? Just watching the video, Brian, it's horrendous, and those watching the show can see it as well. Then you start going into, well, what if there was someone cycling, or what if there was someone walking in the space that you could have put? What if that tiny wee sort of, it's not even a hard shoulder, what if it wasn't there? I mean, I'm sure you've done that in your head.
Well, I have done, because, somebody was asking me what would you have done. I said I probably would have gone into the field.
Yeah.
Rather than, having worked in the fire service, I've seen the results of they used to be called road traffic accidents, but they're then changed into road traffic RTCs, because it's not an accident. There's some reason for it. I've seen the consequences of that on numerous occasions. So I went through all of that. If that van had hit me, where's my car going to end up? Was that going to jackknife into the bus? Was the bus going to be involved? Was the car coming behind me going to be involved? It doesn't bear thinking about what the consequences of that driver's actions could have been.
No, it's scary stuff.
Not
to mention the bosses involved as well, potentially, with
that's what I was saying.
Passengers
that's what I was saying. The bus would mean my car, if there had been a collision, the van could have gone into the bus. I could have gone into the bus. God knows how many others would have been involved in that. The following day, further up the road, I think at the 6 Mile Cross, Berra Crossroads, there was a 4-vehicle collision, 4 people taken to hospital. It's the amount of traffic on the road, and the majority of the time it's people taking chances. It definitely is people taking chances.
I was going to say, the road needs upgrading, don't get me wrong, but that kind of driving behaviour could happen on any road. Do you know what I mean?
It could happen on any road.
He's not in a high-powered vehicle. We know those buses have to tip along at the speed limit because they are, or under it, because they are under pressure and what have you. So, I don't know what, excuse me, I don't know what made him think he could overtake that bus on that sweeping bend.
I don't. And I looked at the video again because somebody asked, is he flashing the light to go out of the way? I think it's just a bump in the road. Why would he be flashing me to get off, go off my lane? I don't know.
I did notice that myself as I was listening intently to you, but watching, and I was thinking, is he actually flashing as if to say, what are you doing?
I don't know, because I know sometimes you see a car hit a bump in the road, it appears to flash. I don't know if that's what happened, or did he actually flash me to get over?
I can tell you why I know he flashed you is because the boss, he's literally neck and neck with the boss. And if you look again, Brian, the boss's lights don't change in any way, shape or form. He is flashing, but I'd say he's panicking, saying, I've got myself into this situation. Can you slow down and let me in? Rather than it be a sort of an act of anger towards you or anything.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't notice, because I did see him, obviously going past, the gentleman, and he is clenching the steering wheel.
Oh, I'd say so.
He is definitely clenching, so he has realised that he's made a mistake, and he's been lucky to get away with it. But as I say, somebody asked to report it. I didn't see any point, because the number plate isn't that clear. It looks like a Wexford plate. And I thought they'd have to identify who owns the van, then they have to try and identify who the driver is, and to me, it would just be a waste of resources. I just thought, no, just leave it. I'm lucky to be here, and just share the video to highlight. If you're traveling, just leave 5 or 10 minutes earlier. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to do something ludicrous or something mad like that.
And the bus driver pulls in a little bit, which gives him
which gives
the van the opportunity to get in. there was good driving by you and both you and the bus driver. You saved that person's bacon.
We did, yeah. We saved his, and not only his, but probably mine as well, because that would have been quite a high speed impact. To say estimating his speed 70-80 miles an hour, mine at that stage down to 20 or 10, whatever it got down to. So it's still nearly 100 mile an hour impact, which wouldn't have been.
This is what I try and tell the boys, Brian, and this sort of demonstrated is it's the other drivers that often you have to watch out for, because you weren't distracted, you were able to make up for his mistake. Now, if you would have been you know what, we talk about phones, but even changing the radio station or something.
You see it.
That
you see it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Right. You see it all the time. People driving along on their phones or being distracted, and it does contribute to the number of crashes out there. It definitely does. And I mean, if you think back, I'm thinking back when I was starting to drive, and you've been driving, the police were everywhere. The police were stopped. If they stopped you and your tyre wasn't up to scratch, they'd have told you to bring it to the car to the barracks the next day and have that repaired, or have a head or if a light, if an indicator not working, they'd have called to bring that up. There doesn't seem to be the same police presence on the road as relation to motor, or what do you say, traffic police.
North or south? Because I drove to Belfast on Friday, and I drove to Dublin on Saturday, and I didn't really see anything that would make you think that if you were driving under the influence or with no tax or insurance that you might actually get caught, unless they're using technology. But I traversed the country at the weekend.
Yeah, no, it's very. Occasionally you see the speed van along the Ballygully line. That's on that A5. You'll see it in 3 or 4 different places, and everybody knows where it parks. And people might take care of them going through Sign Mills. Quite often there's either one in Sign or at Greg Mitchell's Motors, or if you drive up the road, you've got one at Ballygully, or if you want at Ballygully roundabout. But you don't generally see, other than that, you don't see police out checking to see what's going on. And I don't know. Have you noticed the same after lockdown? I thought the standards of driving has deteriorated. People seem to forget what indicators are for. People seem to think to drive with fog lights on at all time. There seems to be a lot of things happening.
And I think a very important part of this story as well, Brian, is your time working with the fire service. And anyone who's worked with the fire service, ambulance service, the clergy or Gardaí or police would know what would have happened if you and that van had met head on. What you would have been turning up to in your career as a fire officer.
Yeah, as I say, the impact speed of that crash would have been horrendous. Whether I'd have survived it, I don't know. I'd say my life did flash before me. There was that brief moment, am I going to be killed? So, I had a quick look there. Just, I think, since 2006, there have been 57 deaths along the A5.
Unbelievable statistics, like that. Isn't it?
It is. And every day there's crashes on it. I think the big important message is people take care when you're driving. Just allow that extra time. Don't take chances. Think of the other road users. Have consideration for other people on the road. Because you're not only putting your life at risk, but you're putting everybody else's at risk.
Okay, and the dash cam really demonstrates it, because you might try and come on and articulate that, or try and articulate it to friends or whomever you're speaking, and it's only when you actually see it that you understand precisely what you're talking about. And you just used every little inch of tarmac to avoid that. The bus.
I was actually on the grass.
Yeah.
I was on the grass, and if you look at that road, thankfully there is a bit of grass. Maybe a couple of 100 yards back up the road, there was no grass. There was nowhere to go.
Well, Brian, I'm very pleased to be able to talk to you today, because
I'm glad to be able to speak to you.
It could have been something very, very different.
Hopefully it raises some awareness and makes people think before taking chances.
100%, Brian. Listen, thanks. Thank God you're safe. Take care of yourself. Thanks for chatting to us. All right, bye-bye. That's Brian Hassan there. And if you watched the show, you'll see that video that we're talking about. But even if you're not watching live, you can watch back. You can watch back again, or I'll share that onto my socials. We'll see what the crack is. Hi, Greg. Can you help me with this, please? About the number on your license. I drive every day, but I'm not named on the insurance policy. The car has anyone over 25 with a full license they can drive. What's the crack with this? Will the Garda be able to do me for anything? Thanks, Greg, if you could find out for me. Well, my instinct would suggest that that's a different type of a policy. That's an open driving policy. And I'd imagine what will happen over time is that insurance companies might ask the policy holder, can you collate who's driving this car and send the numbers on to us? But that's different, and it's an exception rather than the rule. So I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I don't know how you could be doing anything wrong. But we will get clarification from the Gardaí rather than my opinion. All right, back with a few more comments and a look at the weather forecast, which is going to be kind of me saying the same stuff for the next couple of weeks, it seems.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Crawford Tiles Castlefin. Spring Madness. New tiles in stock. 45 by 45, €12.99. 60 by 60, €14.99. 75 by 75, €19.99. And 1200 by 600, €24.99. All in stock and ready to go. Visit crawfordtiles.com or call 91-43942.
With the phasing out of R32 refrigerant and heat pumps, discover next generation comfort with the new award-winning Grant Airona R290 heat pump, delivering exceptional performance with quiet operation. The Grant Airona R290, heating for the future. Think heating, think Grant. Visit grant.ie.
There's bingo every Monday night at Halfway House Burnfoot. Doors open at 7:30 with eyes down at 8:30. €2,500 must go. The snowball is now €1,750 on 45 numbers or less. If you're not in, you can't win. That's Halfway House Bingo tonight at 8:30.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at McElhenney's.com today.
So, mist and fog, it's cleared already at this stage to leave a dry day with a mix of cloud and sunny spells. Temperatures of 14 to 16 degrees with light to moderate southerly winds tonight. Relatively mild, 5 to 7 degrees. Tomorrow, dry and sunny, long spells of hazy sunshine at first, turning to blue skies as the day goes on. Highest temperatures of 12 to 15 degrees in a moderate to fresh southwesterly wind. And this southwesterly actually is meaning that us here in the west and northwest are actually getting the warmer temperatures. Often it's the south and southeast, isn't it? I'll give you Wednesdays because it's quite pleasant. Dry and clear with southeasterly winds easing largely light to moderate and just occasionally fresh. A fine day, staying dry with widespread sunshine. Temperatures 11 to 15 degrees. Thursday, another dry day, sunny. Temperatures 12 to 16 degrees. Winds light. The weekend, current indications suggest it will remain largely settled for the weekend. Maybe a little more in the way of cloud expected with temperatures turning slightly cooler, but that's all right, isn't it? I think it's a favourable weather forecast. A caller says, what went on last week in the Dáil? Anything is possible. That's sort of in the context of McGregor running for the presidency. Is that done and dusted now? I wonder what went on in the Dáil. I saw some of the videos of what was being voted on and what people thought they were voting on. And it's not really clear, fully clear what exactly is going on there. But anyway. My son is an apprentice and is waiting over 6 months for his driving test. We live in rural Donegal and the bus service is patchy, as most mornings he's gone by 5:30am. When he was working in Limerick, there was no direct bus link and he had to get a bus to Galway and then Donegal, which is over 8 hours on a bus after a long week. These young people are trying and are facing much higher costs than we did between the cost of a theory test and 12 driving lessons, insurance and so on. We need to see action on the delay in getting them a driving test. My son now talks about the delay and how it's holding him back and he's thinking of heading to Australia. We are crying out for apprentices, but we're doing nothing to keep them here. Now, there is a cancellation system. It can be kind of convoluted to get onto. But if you stick to it, you will get a cancellation because I know 3 young people. I was doing it for Aaron because young people, you can't get them to do anything. So you have to do everything for them, don't you? But it was there's a, I don't have at the moment, but you can go on to where you're booking your test and you can check for cancellations. And there's normally a cancellation live on the website somewhere in Ireland. But generally speaking, I was getting them about in 2 or 3 days of quite regular checking, getting a cancellation. He went to Donegal Town to do his in the end, and he's one of 3 or 4 people I know that got the test quicker because of that. And also insurance. A wee story about the insurance too, which I don't have time now, but his insurance with the black box, which is kind of reassuring for us parents. It was 1,600 quid in year one and 850 his car insurance in year two with the black box. So, that's pretty cheap. It's almost as cheap as I'm paying right now. So there are options out there if you do the right, if you go about it, that make the situation slightly more optimistic. Okay, I'm going to take a break because Donald Cavan is standing by with the news. We'll be back after that news and the obituary notices. Of course, you're not going anywhere. We'll chat to you in a bit.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Join me, Marty Friel, every Friday night from 8 for Rockin' Hits on Highland Radio in association with Arena 7. Enjoy bowling, laser quest, soft play or a game of pool before dining in our fast food diner or family restaurant. See arena7.ie.
Running a business isn't easy, but accessing support should be. The new National Enterprise Hub is the single source for all government support for your business. With over 180 supports in one place, it's easier than ever to find grants, advice, training and more. And don't worry about not knowing what you need. Our helpful team will guide you every step of the way. Visit neh.gov.ie to learn how we can help. The National Enterprise Hub. Support starts here, an initiative of the Government of Ireland.
At Fleming's, we take great pride in having provided quality steel and roofing to all our customers throughout Ireland since 1860.
Tell them about the doors, John.
OK, Mike. We also provide a full quality range of
doors, industrial doors, garage doors, roller doors, insulated doors.
Thanks for that, Mike.
No dramas, mate.
Fleming's, engineering solutions for 150 years. Call us now on 074 91 48 234.
Imagine what you could do with €20,000 to refresh your living space. Highland Radio and Foy's are giving you the chance to transform your home with a €10,000 home makeover draw, plus €10,000 in cash. Get your tickets now at highlandradio.com for a chance to make your dream home a reality.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. Gardaí have renewed their appeal for information regarding the death of a man in his late 70s in a crash at the weekend. Danny Gallagher from the Glebe in Downings was the driver of a car involved in the single vehicle crash on the R245 at Carrigart at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, 3 women have been killed in 2 serious crashes, one of them in North Cork, the other in Waterford. 2 women died in Mallow and the other in Dungarvan. Uisce Éireann has confirmed work on the water main from Clonmany to Mindoran will start earlier than planned. The section of mains has been the subject of regular bursts, including a significant one within the past 2 weeks, which left some homes and businesses without water for almost 24 hours. Local councillor Mark McDermott says he's now been told that work will get underway this week, with hopes it'll be complete by the end of the summer.
I got confirmation on Friday evening that Irish Water have now moved the money to the pipe. It was to be done in 2026. They're now going to do it in 2025. Some of that work commenced was done this week, where they were starting to do trial holes, and they hope to have the work complete within the next 3 to 4 months with that new pipe being replaced, which should alleviate a lot of the problems in that particular area.
Meanwhile, Donegal County Council will today debate a motion calling on Uisce Éireann to meet with councillors in Inishowen to discuss the issue across the peninsula. That motion is being moved at a meeting of Donegal County Council today by Councillor Albert Doherty. The Taoiseach says the looming threat of tariffs could have an impact on the budget later this year. Micheál Martin has expressed concern at potential tariffs being imposed by US President Donald Trump later this week as being a very, very grave threat. It's expected President Trump will announce widespread tariffs across a number of countries on Wednesday. That could include the pharma sector here. Taoiseach Micheál Martin says the government overriding objective is to save jobs and work more closely with Europe.
It's a very serious threat because most people who invest in businesses and so on want stability. They want predictability. They want liquidity in the markets. They don't have that at the moment with the level of uncertainty that's going on.
Okay.
And so therefore people are suspending investment decisions.
Two incidents of criminal damage in Inishowen on Saturday night are under investigation, with calls on those responsible to foot the bill in both instances. In Buncrana on Saturday night, someone drove through a fence at Festival Park on the Shore Road before driving away. Considerable damage was caused. In Inishowen, MD Coherloch told Greg Hughes on the show this morning whether it was accidental or deliberate, Gardaí will find whoever was responsible. Jack Murray says it would be in their best interest to come forward now.
I've been in touch with the local Gardaí. There will be a criminal investigation on it. The number of people who were in the area contacted me with different bits of information, so I've no doubt that those responsible will be apprehended, and I think they should foot the bill to restore this park. But at this point, I would be asking everybody through your show, if they do know any information, to come forward. They can contact me or contact the Gardaí, and we'll get to the bottom of this and get the park that we all love restored ASAP. But I do think it is in their interest to come forward.
Also on Saturday night, a number of trees were damaged in Newton Cunningham. Councillor Paul Canning says a reward of €500 is being offered.
There are €500 reward for anyone because, I'm not saying they are, but if it's a person below a certain age, the parents are responsible, and if not, the person themselves is responsible. So we need to get to the bottom of it, because if we don't nip it now, it gets more serious. Crime then done within the village. There's always people running about and carrying on and messing about, but they're not actually doing damage to property. Like, we will be doing a play park and that in the village, and I don't want to be sort of going in the same direction.
Pay-related social welfare changes come into effect today for people with a strong work history. Anyone who becomes unemployed from today and has made at least 5 years of PRSI contributions will have their job seekers benefit linked to their previous earnings. It's split into 3 different payments rates over 13-week periods, starting at a maximum of €450 per week before falling to €375 and then €300 before a weekly minimum rate of €125 applies. Suzanne Rogers from Social Justice Ireland says it's a better system.
It will all depend on how long you were working and what your wages were. All of those things will be taken into account. So there will be different payments linked to that. It will be paid for a shorter period of time than the current job seekers benefit, with the understanding that when they actually looked at the figures, most people who lost a job were back in employment quite quickly within the 6 months.
Dry today with a mix of cloud and sunny spells. Top temperatures 14 to 16 degrees Celsius with light to moderate southerly winds. Dry with long clear spells developing. Lowest overnight temperatures 5 to 7 degrees tonight with light to moderate south to southeast winds. Tomorrow dry and sunny with long spells of hazy sunshine, turning to blue skies as the day goes on. Top temperatures on Tuesday 12 to 15 degrees Celsius. That's Highland Radio News. We're back with headlines at 11. Check all the day's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning. The obituary notices for this Monday morning, the 31st of March. The death has taken place of Cecilia McGonigal, née Craig, formerly of Ballynally, Moville. Cecilia's remains are reposing at the home of her sister Christina, 120 St Finian's Park, Moville. Removal from there tomorrow morning at 11:30 for private burial in Ballybrack Cemetery at 12 noon. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member or Eamon McLaughlin, funeral director. The death has occurred of Seamus Gillespie, Dramahi, Bruckles. Remains reposing at his home today from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Funeral Mass tomorrow morning at 11 in St Mary of the Visitation Church, Killybegs, with burial afterwards in the local cemetery. The Mass can be viewed on mcn.live. House private, please, before the funeral tomorrow. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Donegal Hospice. The death has occurred of Eunice Toland, Tornabrattley, Clonmany. Her remains are reposing at her home. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:30, going to St Mary's Church, Clonmany, for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass, with interment afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Family time, please, from 10 o'clock tonight and before the funeral tomorrow. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Irish Wheelchair Association or St Columkill Village, Clea Clonmany, care of any family member or McFeely funeral directors. Eunice's funeral mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. There will be a shuttle bus in operation from 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock this evening from the car park at Rishini National School. And the death has taken place of Bridie Doherty, née Maguire, Mill Road, Glenties. Funeral Mass this morning at 11 in St Connell's Church, Glenties, with burial afterwards in the local cemetery. Family time, please, before the funeral. The funeral Mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Warning, the following installation guide is dangerously simple. Step 1. Remove your 3 5G home broadband router from the box. Step 2. Plug it in. Step 3? There is no step 3. Probably didn't need this long of an ad. Not sure what else to... why not check out 3's 5G home broadband for yourself? Visit your local 3 store or 3.ie. 3. For a better connected life. Self-installation plans only. Subject to 5G coverage. Minimum term and direct debit. See 3.ie.
Okay, you're welcome back. We're into the second hour of the 9 till noon show. Thanks for choosing us this morning. It's great to be part of your morning every day, or whenever you happen to tune in. We really do appreciate it. And we love the exchange of views and opinions as well. 086 60 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text number. Some of you text in regularly, some of you text in occasionally, some of you text for the first time, and we love to hear from all of you. Caroline Orr researches and produces the show, of course. She's taking your calls and is assisted by Shannon, two very important cogs in the wheels here. Are you looking forward to the concert tonight? It's Highland Radio's 35th birthday concert. It is sold out. It's going to be a cracking night. So if you're lucky enough to have a ticket, it's just going to be great fun. And you know the way the concerts work. They start when they're supposed to start and they end when they're supposed to end. But I think there's about 40 or 50, I don't know what the number is, of you that have taken the overnight option and are going to stay on and have the crack in the hotel as well, which is great. Make a wee day of it. And I'm sure you've worked hard and have treated yourself, and fair play to you. So that's tonight. It's going to be a great night, a cracking night, no doubt about it. Right, there's a €10,000 home makeover plus €10,000 cash giveaway. It's worth 20k in total. And it's nearly April. It's April 1st tomorrow. So we only have, about 16 days until this draw is made on the John Breslin Show. And you just buy a ticket if you want to. Of course, if you can afford it. Maybe you're doing your house up. You want to do your house up. Maybe you've applied for the vacant property or the renovation grant. And, you want to make the numbers work better for you. Well, it's in association with our friends at Foy and Company. They've got an amazing store and made an amazing products as well. You'll have €10,000 to spend in Foy and Company, which in and of itself is a cracker, right? But also €10,000 cash on top of that. So it's 20,000 in total. You can put it all into the house or do whatever you wish to do. So, yourself, get new furniture, a fresh lick of paint, or even a complete makeover for that type of money. It's all right saying our houses are worth 250 grand now. But if you sell it, you need to find another house, right? So you it's I suppose it's reassuring for some that their assets are worth a certain amount, but really you can never really realise it, can you? So what we do is we extend or we renovate, and that's what this is really useful for. Now, you can get one ticket for €15 or you can get 5 for €50. They're on our website, highlandradio.com. It's really simple. You know the crack. It could be you this time. Maybe you missed out on the cash the last time. Maybe you could win it this time. We are a local radio station, a regional radio station, and we broadcast primarily into the 3 counties of Derry, Tyrone and Donegal. And we do have, obviously, quite a lot of people listening to us outside the county. But we aren't one of these sort of covering the whole of the west of Europe type competitions. So the numbers are really positive for you if you do enter. If you want to give us a call, we can do that as well over the phone. The website's perfectly safe and secure, but maybe you want to give us a call and we'll sort you out there, 074 91 25,000. Or if you prefer, call into us here at the radio station. And sometimes people win when they buy the ticket early. Sometimes they buy the ticket at the last minute. We don't know. It's just pure random. And you see it live here, so you know exactly what's going on. And that draw will be made on Wednesday the 16th around the Northwest with John Breslin. So get your tickets now if you want to just... you'll probably have forgotten you bought the ticket by the time you potentially win. Right, time for everyone to go outside this week in the beautiful sunshine and get the natural vitamin D levels increased to prevent viruses, coughs and flus. Good idea. I would hope to spend as much time as possible outside. Irish Mothers Against Genocide were arrested outside the Dáil this morning after holding a peaceful vigil overnight. Free speech? What free speech? Censorship is rife in Ireland. I must have a look into that. I'm sure there's coverage of it online and what have you. A caller says a lot of people driving along looking down at their phone. It does happen, you see. And in Brian's case a little earlier on, that's a reference to a call in the first hour. Like if he had have been doing that, and of course he wouldn't be, he wouldn't have been able to take, you know what I mean? Like it's none of that was his fault, don't get me wrong, but he wouldn't have been able to take the evasive action that in fact that he did. I drove to Dublin and back on Friday. I didn't see any speed vans or Garda. I got robbed at the Port Tunnel toll, had to pay €13 one way and $3.50 for return. Daylight robbery. Wowzers. Could you not have avoided it? That's big money. I managed to only, I don't understand, I follow the Google Maps, I only paid one toll down and one toll back up. I drive to Letterkenny quite frequently. On the back of Errigal Road there might be a bus or a tractor and trailer and people don't overtake the vehicle. I think that if you don't overtake you shouldn't be driving on the road. Slow vehicles are just as dangerous as fast cars. I know where you're coming from, but I also understand that maybe some people are a little bit more cautious than others. It's a toughie. What's right, what's wrong? Greg, could you ask the council what they intend to do with the way they left the road on the Mill Bridge Buncrana? It's a serious collision waiting to happen, the way they left it. Instead of road safety, they're creating disasters waiting to happen. I'd love to see some pictures of it. I think this is the third consecutive week, where we have had complaints about this situation at the Mill Bridge and Buncrana. If you're out for a walk or it's safe to pull over when you're driving, would you take a picture of it just so I know exactly what we're talking about? Thank you. Hi, Greg. In regards to Conor McGregor, God said, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. The politicians don't want Conor to run for president because he'll do things for the people instead of listening to Brussels. Conor for the people's president. The problem is and I don't think Conor's actually fully aware of this himself, in that the president has no power at all. Even referring bills to the Supreme Court or whatever act they have, you know what I mean? If something needs to be signed into law, it's not in the gift of the president actually to block that, because eventually it can be passed into law without the presidential signature at all. There are provisions within the Constitution. It really is an honorary position. That's just the bottom line. Now, it is a platform, but I mean, you have to understand the president can't actually even leave the country without the Dáil approving. So if he decides that he's going to take his wife to France, you actually have to seek approval before you depart. So the role of president in Ireland is very different to that of the president of the United States, for an example. Okay, let's take a break. After that, we're going to be speaking to the new mayor of Donegal Town.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Monday, March 31st. Playing on a green sheet. Reference number is S6. It's week 14. Today's numbers are 8, 71, 53, 60, 27, 75, 11, 29, 64 and 88. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland Bingo information at highlandradio.com.
The effects of personal debt problems often go beyond just financial. What we don't want to face can cause us to unravel. Stress eats at you, relationships unwind. It can feel like life's falling apart, but support is available. Get back on track with the Insolvency Service of Ireland, an independent organisation that helps untangle personal debt problems. See backontrack.ie. Supported by the Government of Ireland.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Now, something I want to mention here, that there is Skull Owen Bastia in Carragard. They are having a fundraising quiz night. It's this coming Friday, the 4th of April. It's in the Goose and Gander in Downings. Registration at 8:30 p.m. The quiz starts at 9 p.m. sharp, and it's teams of 5 or 6 people maximum. And it's €10 per person, and there's raffle prizes on the night, and all are welcome. So it's a good little night out, no doubt about it, in a beautiful setting of the Goose and Gander, and it's to raise funds for Scullow and Bastia. So that's this Friday, the 4th of April, in the Goose and Gander, and it's one of those areas of our beautiful county that's going to be really busy, I'd imagine, at the weekend, because the weather's favourable, and people flock to Downings, and people flock to Donegal Town as well. Anna Gallagher is the new honorary mayor of Donegal Town, and she joins us on the programme now. Congratulations, Anna. What a lovely honour for you.
Oh, Greg, thank you so much. Yeah, a lovely honour.
It really is nice.
Delighted. Yeah, do you know what? I'm very humbled that there was a fantastic turnout. There was over 1,800 votes in the Bosco, and there was 5 candidates running, and the people of Donegal Town put their belief in me, and I topped the poll, and I am now the honorary mayor of Donegal Town, which I am very deeply grateful.
Yeah, it's a busy role too, though. Your phone's going to be hopping because there's lots of stuff happens throughout the year where you'll be invited, Anna. Yeah. And is there... I mean, obviously it's an honorary role, okay, but what do you want to use the platform for? Because it is in your gift as well.
Yeah, do you know what? I have been gifted this platform now, and it is an honorary role. It's non-funded. I'm a very positive person, Greg. Maybe that came across when I was out canvassing. I will always highlight the positive in every situation. As I said on Friday night in the Bosco, I'm one person, but I am... I've got a lot of drive and a lot of passion for people. I'm a good communicator. I will advocate for the community in every sense of the word. And Donegal Town has been voted the top 10 destinations to visit in Ireland by TripAdvisor. And of course, the whole county as a whole, I would advocate for the whole county. I was in Dunlow yesterday visiting relatives and another strong community. I was up in Ballyshannon on Saturday at the Creevy Hub cycle, another huge community with great drive. The communities are amazing all over Donegal. I can use the platform to sort of highlight how good communities are. There's amazing people quietly working away in their communities that, you know, don't get this kind of platform. And I'd like to highlight all those people, and I'd like to sort of congratulate all those people that are working away diligently in their community for the better of their community. And as you say, my role as mayor, it doesn't have the powers of political councillors or TDs, but I certainly will be able to be a voice and advocate for people in the community.
Yeah,
Even
there's no doubt about it that it definitely is a role that comes with it, a platform, a voice, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and even when I was out canvassing, you know, you could see, like I knocked on doors, and I might have been the only person that they heard from that week. And I've actually followed up with a few of those people since. You know, there's a lot of people living on their own. A lot of, you know, maybe even since COVID, people haven't gone back out into the community, and those people need to be cared for and looked after. And there's a lot of great things that, as mayor, that you can sort of quietly do, and there's a lot of things as mayor that you can do from the platform of mayor. And you know, I'm all about that. I'm all about trying to be a voice for different groups, and I will be there to listen and to support anybody that is in need.
Brilliant. Great turnout, actually. 800 plus votes, and you with 700 of those bar a handful. And of course, you're replacing Pádraig Kennedy, the outgoing mayor of Donegal as well. So, you know...
Pádraig's going to be a hard act to follow.
Well, what I was going to say, Anna, is that in fairness to Pádraig, he did sort of, I think, bring more of a spotlight to the role, which benefits you, I think. If that's the credit I would certainly be able to give him in that, he's elevated the platform, I think, and who better to step on that and elevate it more themselves than yourself, Anna?
Well, thank you, Greg. And, you know, I was delighted to receive the change from Pádraig. Pádraig has been amazing. Pádraig has put himself forward and has been available and is a kind-hearted person and has really championed a lot of causes, and he is to be commended for that without a doubt. And Pádraig is someone that I admire very much.
Well, it's over to you now. Anna, congratulations again. We look forward to chatting, I'm sure.
Yes, and could I just get one little other thing?
Sure.
I did a quick video yesterday for Anne Reid and Scoil Lana Visa, Killimard. They're having a lip sync battle on Friday the 4th, and you can go to their I Donate page. My own children went to the school, and Charlie and I were both involved with the school, and all the best to them, and I hope to see all the kids there on Friday night.
Brilliant. And Father O'Friel, obviously a very familiar voice to Highland Radio listeners, the late great Father O'Friel, very much associated with Killimard as well, just to give that connection with the north of the county as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anna, thank you so much for your time. Well done. We'll chat, as I say. Take care.
I hope this won't be the last time we talk, Greg, and I'll be coming back.
Not at all, of
I'll be
course.
coming back with all sorts of news and activities and what I'm up to.
Super stuff. Thank you, Anna. That's the new honorary mayor of Donegal Town, Anna Gallagher, who takes over from Pádraig Kennedy. And there was 5 people that put themselves forward for their community to sort of vote on them, not judge them. But, I think it takes a great deal of bravery to actually sort of be the person to say, right, I think I can do this job and this is why. And all 5 of them, very fine people, and fair play to them. It was Anna that came out on top, and I'm sure she's going to do a fantastic job as the mayor of Donegal Town there. Right, okay. Daniel MacDonald joins me on the show now. He's a resident of Clonmany. And Daniel, you've been having a nightmare with water.
Yeah, we have. Thanks very much for having us, Craig.
No problem. It's important. It's really important. So what's the story, and how often are you without water?
Well, it kind of goes in kind of wee bursts here and there, and sorry for using the word burst, but in the last week, for example, we had four days that the water was out. And there was leakages apparently at the Mendorn to Clonmany line. So we have been, and from Christmas time, I don't know exactly how many times, but 4 or 5 times since Christmas as well, or maybe more. And every time there's a burst, you get the message at 8:30 in the morning, there's no school. You have to organise then to try and get people to look after your kids because you're going to work. It's a huge distraction for people in their normal day-to-day life.
Of course, and then there's the time the water's off. There is what the condition of the water when it comes back on. There's what impact does it have on clothes washing, bathing, electric showers. There's an awful lot of layers to the inconvenience with regular water outages. Anyone who has one now and again would know all about that, Daniel. You're getting them every other day, it seems almost.
Yeah, well, I'm not aware of this myself, but I've drank away at it, but I've heard other people saying that there's been warnings out after these outages not to drink the water, maybe for a day or two, because probably they have to put more additives in, because if there's dirt in the water or whatever, as a result of the fix, I don't know. But it's just not ideal, And then I mentioned about schools. It's not only schools, there's a lot of people with carers coming in, and there's people with special needs in houses as well. And you can imagine being a carer coming in to look after somebody and there's no water there. There's hotels and businesses as well. And if you imagine, a lot of us don't go away on holiday very much, but if you book a weekend or a few days away and you arrive at a hotel and the next thing, the guy comes up to you in the morning and says, you're only allowed one flush and you can't shower. What kind of a nightmare would that be like?
Yeah, I get you. And it sounds to me that perhaps the whole line needs changing, because every time they repair a problem, it seems to be putting pressure on another weak part of the network. I don't know the ins and outs of it, Daniel, but that's often what seems to be happening. So it seems the entire trunk, or whatever way it's described, that services these 1,500 residents, these residential properties and businesses, needs to be, the whole thing needs to be fixed by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. It seems to be just a weak point. And if people remember as well, when we were having the Gulf here, the road from Mendorn to Clonmany was resurfaced. You want to drive that road now from Mendorn to Clonmany, it's really dangerous. It's only a matter of time before somebody has a really bad accident.
Well, what's happening? What's the connection there with the state of the road and this issue, Daniel? Pardon my ignorance.
It's just when the roads are being repaired, you have a crowd coming in to do the repair, and they fix it well and good. But like what happens is when it's resurfaced, it sinks then after a few days and they never come back.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was brought to our attention. It was brought to our attention as well on the last meeting we had was the 20th of June, 2023, and there was a fella mentioned at the meeting. He just lives right beside the road, and he was saying that he went down to the end of the road one day because a trailer had detached from a car as a result of the way the road was, and like when you hear things like that happening, something needs to be done like before there's more serious issues. It's not just the service of the water. There's more things that need to be addressed as well, and this is one of the things where we need to have the meeting. Irish Water have mentioned that they're going to fix the pipe now, or they're going to attend to the pipe sooner than what they were going to. But there are other issues that need to be addressed, and one of the things is that we're kind of very aware of when they come and say that they're going to fix it, everyone just drops their guard and then just forgets about it.
Job done.
And nothing ever happens, these other issues. But we need to press on them to make sure that these other issues are fixed now when they're doing it. And it's not huge issues, it's simple things.
All right, so for those who have just tuned in, we're talking about water issues affecting Uris, Clonmany, Ballyliffin and parts of Carndonagh as well. There's a public meeting on this Wednesday night in the Market House at 7 p.m. and I think the more people that turn out to that, because at least 1,500 houses are affected by this and schools and other services, the more people turn out, the more difficult it is for Uisce Éireann to allow any commitments to slip. Stay with me, Daniel. Local Councillor Martin McDermott is with us as well. Councillor McDermott, you feel the frustration yourself. Residents feel the frustration, but as an elected rep, you're constantly trying to get some clarification or commitment from Uisce Éireann, and it can be a challenge.
Yeah, good morning, Greg. Good morning, Daniel. Yeah, it certainly can be a challenge with Uisce Éireann, that's for sure. But look, I think Daniel has said the issues that we're having in that vicinity. I've gone back over the last year. So if you go back to 2024, there was 18 different outages on that line. This year to date, there's about 8 or 9 outages on the same line, which is totally unacceptable. We did get a pipe changed from Strayed from Clonmany out to Uris, which did alleviate a lot of the bursts on the Uris side. But this trunk main that goes from Mundore to Clonmany also takes the water to Uris, takes the water to Ballyliffin, parts of Clonmany, and also parts of back into Rashini and Glassholt into Carndonagh. So that pipe is a very important main pipe that needs to be replaced. What
have Irish Water, Uisce Éireann committed to so far, and what timeline have they given us?
Yeah, so up to now, Greg, Uisce Éireann was committed to replacing the trunk main in 2026. They said that it was on their capital programme for 2026. That's a fight that we've been having with them now since before Christmas, and particularly over the last couple of months, was to prioritise that bit of pipe for this year, for 2025 instead of 2026, because of the amount of outages there has been, the amount of houses that have been out. On Friday, Uisce Éireann have confirmed to me that they have now committed to fixing that trunk main in 2025, and that works will commence on trial holes within the next couple of weeks, and that by the summer that they would hope to have that main replaced in between Mundore and Clonmany. But I think, again, as Daniel hit on the point there, I think it's vitally important that we keep the pressure on now to make sure that this does happen. And there's a meeting on Wednesday night. It's important that people do come out and show their support, because it's very easy to let those type of projects, particularly the bigger projects like that, Greg, to slip down and something else becomes more important. So it's very important that we do keep the pressure on to make sure that happens.
For sure, and of course too, whenever the work's completed, that the road is restored, because there's a lot of traffic on that road, of course, visitors traffic and local traffic. Daniel, I just want to re-emphasise the big turnouts required. If 4 or 5 people landed, which they won't, of course, that in and of itself could send a message. So it's important that Uisce Éireann, and they will know about it, it's important that they see a good turnout, that they know that the people of the local area are very vexed about this. Just give up half an hour or an hour of your time Wednesday night, I would suggest.
Yes, exactly, Craig. We're very lucky in Clonmany, and we're very lucky. Anything that people try to do in Clonmany is very well supported. Everything that's done. we are very lucky. So one thing I would ask, you mentioned that there's 1,500 customers affected by the outages. So if we could get one person from every household, there would be big numbers there.
Oh, for sure, okay.
So that's what we're asking for, and it's like a half an hour just to come into the Kilmany and just show your face. That's all we want.
Okay.
And if there's any other issues that we're unsure of, now's the time to bring them up.
For sure, definitely.
Just water related.
Well done.
Just water related.
All right,
Sorry,
Daniel.
Martin,
I don't know why that tickled me as much as it did. Daniel, thanks very much. Daniel MacDonald, a resident of Clonmany, a great voice for the local community there. Councillor McDermott, what is the story when work is done? You know, when we have a nice stretch of road and it's dug up, and we understand, you know, eggs and omelettes and all that kind of stuff, but I'm thinking of, I could name a number of roads whereby they were dug up, new pipes laid, some temporary repairs, or at least that's what it looks like. And like Daniel says, it does tend to sink then. You know, really good roads then end up in a mess. What is happening there, or what's the story, or what's the responsibility if it's Eisce-Éireann, or it's always Eisce-Éireann? Is it the council don't do waterworks anymore?
No, it's the waterworks and the Eisce-Éireann. Anything to do with water or sewer now has nothing to do with Donegal County Council. It's completely under the umbrella of Eisce-Éireann. When they do fix roads now, and they have been, this has been, as you know, Greg, a constant argument and a constant item on the agenda at every council meeting where we have water bursts and roads that have been already replaced have been dug back up again and left sometimes in very poor condition. Malin Head was a prime example where we had a long argument where a road was just after being replaced, and they came along and put on a pipe and left it in very, very poor condition. But that particular bit of stretch road, when that's done now, that will have to go on a programme within the council then to be resurfaced again. We have looked at that previously.
So Eisce-Éireann really, they've a responsibility, and a note to actually some broadband work. Again, it's very important infrastructural work. Don't get me wrong, but some of this work was done 3 or 4 years ago, and the road still is poor as a result. So there is an obligation for them to leave it at a certain standard, but then generally speaking, if need be, it goes over to the council to sort of resurface the road altogether.
But they have an obligation to leave it to the standard that the council or anyone else would leave it to. So they have an obligation to leave it to the standard that it's back to being able to be driven on the same as any other road. So they are, and they have came around over the last number of months. There has been contractors have been doing a lot of work on roads that there was damage to. That particular one there in Kilmany, I think, you know, we have been pushing to try to get that done, and now it has been done. So I don't think there'll be too much done to that. So that's dug back up again and replaced. But that will have to be a bigger job to replace that. But Greg, I just want to acknowledge as well Daniel and Marie and the team in Kilmany as well that have organised these meetings and have put pressure on to try and get this issue resolved, and to Eisce-Éireann for, you know, taking our issues on board as well, because look, this has been very, very difficult for the people out there over particularly the last number of months, but it's been going on for longer than that. But the last number of months have been really, really bad. So it's good to get some kind of a decent outcome at the end of this, but it's important that people do come out and show their support and make sure that this does happen now.
Okay, right. Thanks very much for that, Councillor Martin McDermott. That public meeting is on Wednesday night in the Market House at 7 p.m. As we heard from Daniel, we know there's 15 homes that are affected by this, and you know, a lot of those 15 homes might have 3 or 4 people in them, maybe even more now. It's so hard to get rid of the 20-year-olds out of the house. You know what I'm saying? We love supporting them, and that's fantastic, but we need to be building houses for them too. Anyway, I don't know that's the kind of issue Daniel doesn't want to hear. It's all about water on Wednesday. But if one person from all those 15 houses, you know the message that would send, and the pictures will be taken and they go on social media. And I know the likes of this show is monitored by Eisce-Éireann and the HSC. They got to represent AGSI, etc. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So that's why a lot of the times when we talk about things, it does have an impact. Now, the people of Clonmany seem to be progressing this very well on their own, and our only role in this is to mention that meeting, because they've already got a commitment from Irish Water to bring that work forward a year. So hopefully that happens. And fair play to Daniel and the other people mentioned by Martin there. Stranola Road is very bad with potholes, especially outside St Mary's Chapel. Is it ever going to be repaired properly? It's been dug up a number of times for works and has been patch filled in since. It's very uneven. The condition of it is unacceptable. And as I say, I can think of a number of roads along the... Listen, it's great if we get broadband in certain areas. It's great if we get water repaired or whatever work they might actually have to do. But the road condition is fine just after the work is completed, but it does seem to sink and get bumpy, and depending on the vehicle you drive, you know, you get proper little smacks as you hit some of these changes in the road. I had an amazing experience at the Alpaca Trail in Inishowen at the weekend. First time doing it. I just felt compelled to say this was a wonderful day out yesterday. P.S. I'm not related to the owners. It's okay, even if you were. Yes, and they're a lovely bunch of people too. I was chatting to the crew behind the Alpaca Trail at the Highland Radio Businesses Award, and that's the amazing thing about those hospitality awards. You know, we had the Shandon was there, Loch S, Harvey's Point was there. You know, an amazing takeaway was there, and then the Alpaca Trail people were there. You know, a great mixture of brilliant businesses. So good. I'm delighted you had a good time. It's something I might try because there's something that seems to come from. And in fact, there's an alpaca experience in Downings as well. But there's something that people seem to get from the whole alpaca experience. I don't know what it is. Is it something the alpacas have? I haven't a clue. But anyway, it seems to touch people in a particular way. Okay, well done, guys, up in Inishowen. We love spreading a bit of positivity as well, especially with the good weather for the next week or two. Who's to say maybe it's an opportunity to get out and do a little bit more.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from 40,000 to 600,000 euro with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Irwin Expert Electrical, your trusted destination for all things home appliances, electrical and entertainment in the Northwest. With over 50 years of leading the way, we pride ourselves on offering a diverse range of products under one roof. From top brands like LG, Samsung, Cooker, Bosch, Apple and more, take advantage of our free layaway service where you can store your new items until you're ready for them. Perfect for renovations and new build projects. Visit Irwin Expert Electrical today in Letterkenny or Buncrana.
New this week in Home Store and More. All Easter decorations are all half price. But better hurry, because when all our half price Easter decorations are gone, they're gone. Also, all mops and buckets and all garden water features are still all half price. But when all our half price mops and buckets and all our half price garden water features are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Mike Denver in concert with special guest Red Hurley at the Millennium Forum Derry on Saturday, April 5th. Tickets at Millennium Forum box office and also online. That's Mike Denver with guest Red Hurley at the Millennium Forum on Saturday, April 5th.
Right, I welcome on to the programme now Tony Doherty, Chair of the Restoration of Carndonagh Daycare Services. Thank you so much for joining me, Tony, and a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg, and thanks very much for having us on the show.
No, it's our pleasure because we've great news. And often, you know, you want to wait until you actually see it before you celebrate it. But it seems Daycare Services, the day centre, is returning to Carndonagh from Monday the 14th of April. How significant is this for the local area and for the campaign?
Well, it's just massive. You know, we've been without daycare services, Greg, as we've spoken before. Since before COVID. So it's been over 5 years that we've been without daycare services in Carndonagh. And delighted to tell you and all the listeners this morning that the service is resuming starting on the 14th of April. Now it's for 2 days per week, Mondays and Tuesdays. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It's going to be in Unit 10 in Sprigo Sport, which those of you that know the area is just part of the SuperValue complex there. There'll be a meal and transport provided and also activities. So I suppose an important, and it'll cater for between 10 and 15 people per day. A key thing probably so it's great news. That's the key message I want to give to you and the listeners this morning. But it's also great for a 3-month trial period. So a wee bit of a crude statement to make, but it's use it or lose it.
No, it's 100%. And I'll tell you, there's going to be people that avail of these services, and then we had lockdown and maybe aren't getting out as much as they used to, or other people who may benefit that aren't hearing this right now, and maybe it's the responsibilities of others in their life to get them along to it. So we want to make sure we don't lose it. We want to make sure we do use it, and we're going to work with you very much in relation to that if we have a role to do that, because it's really important. Because I say we, well, it's not me, but it's you guys. We have these battles, and when they're won, we have to make sure they stay won, if you know what I mean. So at the moment, day services will be provided by the HSE Monday and Tuesday each week from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So I suppose to make sure we reach everyone, who are they for? What from what area?
So basically, it's from all of North Inishowen, Carndonagh and everything north and anywhere around that. I mean, the thing is, Greg, in all of this is there's been a deficit of support in this area. So it's anybody who can reach Carndonagh is welcome to come to the service. Transport will be provided. You just have to contact your public health nurse and register. And on our website, it tells you about all the different numbers from the public health nurses. We have 47 referrals at this time. Eight of those are maybe not attending right away, so that leaves 39 people. And then there's also 6 of those are higher needs, which have to be kind of reviewed in relation to the facility that we have. So there are 33 people, if you like, ready to go.
But we know there's much more that could have. There's many more that could have availed of these services. More.
Yeah. But you have to remember, and I take the example of my own father, right? Whenever he first attended the service when he was 87 years of age, and I remember the battle to get Dad to attend, right? Because Dad was saying like, yeah, it's great service, right? But it's for old people. And that he was really happy to go to it, but he's kind of going to wait until he gets old and then he go to it. So that whole thing about kind of inertia over 5 years, because there's a whole discussion and a dialogue, and don't underestimate. I think the amount of effort for families and people who are caring for elderly to get people to attend. And
but we're starting from scratch, though, really, aren't we? Such a gap.
We're really starting from scratch, and I'm thinking, today we're 99% of the way. And now we just have the other 99% to do, if you like.
Yeah.
Right?
So register your family member, or they themselves, or neighbours, because, these are very fun. It's a lovely setting, and people are very vibrant there, and they go in and they chat and they communicate and they have fun. So don't disqualify yourself from it. You could really very much enjoy this. So if you wish to register your family member or a neighbour, having consulted with them, of course, you ring your local public health nurse. Now, the way that system often can work, the phone isn't always answered because they're out doing public health nurse work, but they do go back every day. They do pick up the messages and they will contact you. It's very important that as many people that can use this facility do. So there is a support coming from Tony and the rest of the crew, and you can email restorecarndaycareservices@gmail.com. But you know what? Ring us and let us say that to you down the telephone line. So in other words, well, who's my local public health nurse and what do I ring? And if they call back and Tony said there was transport, but how? There's no buses past me. How could there be transport? I'm trying to get through the questions that people might disqualify themselves with. Don't worry about that. Contact your local public health nurse or contact this email address and we'll sort it out from there, Tony. Would that be a good way of framing it, do you think?
I mean, that's a fantastic summary, and thanks for kind of doing that. I think the other thing is that activities is going to be key in all of this. So now we've got everybody attending, but, one person will like bingo and one person, for everyone who likes music, someone else maybe doesn't like music. So having activities that interest people is going to be absolutely key. Things like, so a wee bit of a call out to anybody in the community that might have a wee bit of time in their hands or be able to provide a service insofar as, bingo, music, cards, arts and crafts, storytelling, could be yoga and exercises or, history of the area. Please contact us or contact the HSE because, you know, socialising is the biggest part of all of this, and like a meal will be provided, and that, you know, we can't underestimate that, meeting your friends, right? But we also have to make it interesting for people, you know, that they
fun.
feel that
It's
they can't
fun,
wait
and
to
it's
come
just
back again.
important that people like your dad would be the exact same as my dad was. He wasn't quite at that age, but I'd have had the exact same conversation with you. I once bought him a. Do you remember back in the day there's a company that used to drop stuff into businesses, and you'd filled out a wee card. Well, there was one time where. And Dad was only probably about 75, 76 at this stage. But there was a massive remote control, right? It was massive. It was 2 foot long and a foot wide. And I thought this would be hilarious to bring back to Dad and say, there you go, that's to be handy for you. Well, he didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. And the more I tried to explain that I didn't think he actually needed it, that it was a joke, the more angry he got.
Yeah.
And I wonder where it is. I think he dumped it in the bin in the end. But it was like $8.99, but I couldn't convince him that I was joking. He just thought this was an insult. Anyway, that's I digress. Hey, come here. What about the 20th of May? Can we come up?
Yes, we'd be delighted to have you there. So we're hopefully having an official opening on Tuesday, the 20th of May. So that'll be kind of halfway through the 3-month trial.
It'll be another push in case maybe it's not getting the people we're talking to. So we're going to be live from it. I can't wait, actually. And the 20th of May, the 9 till noon show, we're going to decamp from here up to the Carndonagh Daycare services live for the official opening. Now, that's penciled in. I don't know what might happen
Greg,
there. But we're locked
in. Of your, you know, I want to thank first of all the HSE, right? Because, you know, some of these things we're just talking about, right? The meals, the transport, all the registration, there's a huge amount of work that's going on kind of underneath the surface by the HSE. And I want to especially thank them for the work that they are doing at this time to make all of this happen. I'm on the radio talking about this, but I'm not actually doing, you know, they're the people that are doing it right this morning, filling out the forms and talking to people. I also want to thank the local community, and just by way of, you know, it just shows you what a local community can do, you know, getting this, because, you know, it's been a long, hard battle. And by way of an example of that, you know, the money that's been raised, we haven't gone out looking for money, but Cairn Drama Club, they had a local play in February, and they raised €1,800 for, you know, activities, equipment to support the new centre. The Wesley Hall, they had a bingo session. It's a little hall in Carndonagh, and they give half of the money they raised towards this, right? It's €400. So we feel really humble. One of our committee members, James McLaughlin, he's actively involved in, you know, making sure that money is spent in the appropriate way, over €2,000. But we want to thank everybody for helping with that. And I want to thank Highland Radio. You know, this is a great example of what local radio is all about. You gave us a voice, enabling us to talk directly to our elderly in the, you know, in the hills across any show. And these people they're not on Facebook, they're not on Instagram, whatever else you want to call it. It's local radio. They're listening and they're getting, you know, hopefully hope and hopefully a bit reassured this morning that, you know, these are the people, as I said before, that fill the potholes for us, that educated us. And isn't it great that with all our collective efforts, that we have some good news here on a Monday morning to show that, you know, if we all get together and we all come together, what can be achieved?
But these people need to blooming sign up, because I want them there on Tuesday the 20th of May, because we're going to have great crack. I'm going to see who could we rope in from here. Would like a bit of music up there as well. We've got some great talent here, but we'll have a great time anyway. That's on May 20th. But if you are listening and this sounds like something that would be good for you, or if you are a family member or a neighbour, because it's very easy to get used to being lonely. It's really, really easy to. And then what happens is the more you sort of stay on your own, maybe you lost your partner 2 or 3 years ago, the more difficult then, the longer you don't socialise, the more difficult then it becomes to socialise. What Tony's guaranteeing you here and the rest of the crew and the HSC is a wonderful, comfy, warm, fun setting to re-engage with people, to have fun, to live your best life, to play a bit of bingo, to listen to a bit of music, to have a lovely meal. To get out of the house, you know, and we can't encourage you enough to do so. And we'll tell you how you do that again. But we want you to all register, get along to it, and we want a huge crowd using this service all the time. By the time we land up there on the 20th of May, I couldn't endorse this anymore. I couldn't say enough good things about it and how important it is for you. And men, I'm talking to you too, particularly, by the way, because we can be cantankerous, stubborn gits. And I can reflect on myself in saying that. But you'll have great crack and you'll be really well looked after. Is there a charge for the transport if you opt in, Tony? A question coming in at this point, do we know?
No, I think that's all provided. I can't answer that directly.
Double check,
I know that
okay.
when my dad was the service, he paid a nominal fee, but it wasn't like the charge of the transport. But at this stage, I don't know if there is but it won't be anything that'll stop you coming if there was a fee.
Local councillor Albert Doherty's also worked on this as well and joins us to recognise what is a positive step in the right direction. And of course, well done to Tony, to James, and the likes of Fanula, Mairead and Kathleen from the HSE as well, and Spree. Really important work they're doing, as Tony referenced. But it's good news, Albert, and we have to celebrate the good news as well and credit where it's due to the HSE.
It's excellent news. This has always been a restoration campaign of the daycare services, and it has been led by Tony, who has done a Trojan work with his committee. And also, rightly so, Tony has mentioned the role that Highland Radio has played, is played, and will continue to play. But yes, the community are really, this morning there I spent an hour up, or half an hour up with Rosina in the LUH doing our campaign for services to be increased as regards cancer. But as regards the lonely, those at home, those who wondered, was it for older people, the publicity that's there today, the campaign that's been waged by Tony and the committee, it's all brought positive results, and we're looking forward to the 14th and later on to the 20th of May. It's just bully bus, and well done to all, Greg.
All right, Councillor Doherty, you and the rest of the representatives right across Inishowen and right across the political spectrum play an important role in this as well. Call your local public health nurse. Is it one number? I have a number here, but there's different numbers. Is the one public nurse number covering all the people we're talking about, Tony?
The number you probably have is Carndonagh, but then you've got Quigley's Point and Muff and...
Yeah. Right. Well, listen, if we need to do any work on this end to get those numbers for those people, we will do that. Don't worry if it goes to an answering service. Our public health nurses always will call you back. If there's any difficulties in registering, you can contact an email address which we have here, restorecarndaycareservices@gmail.com, but we'll read that out to you if you give us a buzz, and use it or lose it. It sounds a bit harsh. There's a good number there, but it's an important thing that everyone gets involved in. And then we're going to be there ourselves on the 20th of May. Looking forward to that. Tony, well done to you. Well done to James. I couldn't endorse your comments enough about the power of the local community, because you know what? When a community organises, it's astonishing what they can achieve. So well done to you and everyone else involved in it. And we'll see you soon, Tony.
Can I just say that there's an awful lot more. I'm just the person that comes on. On the radio, if you like, all right. But there's people like Mickey Buzzy, John McGuinness in the post office who did Trojan work, making sure that we got the flyers out to people. Many more people. It's always, you don't want to mention names, if you like, right? But I just want to say that there's been a big effort. Like our committee is up to 20 people.
Well, we'll see how many you can line up of them for the 20th.
They'll all be there.
Okay.
We'll all be there clapping you and.
No, it's not about. We're up there.
Thanking you for your support. You'll get a cup of tea.
We're up there supporting you, not the other way around, you idiots. We'll see you on the 20th. Thanks, Tony. Well done to all involved in that. Okay, and if you need any reminders put out, just how to get in contact with us, Tony, and we'll do what we can in our end. Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Bye, Tony. Take care.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Do you need a UK address? Save hundreds of euros on custom charges shopping online with Space Hub Dairy. We provide a full virtual office address mailbox service for all your business and personal use. Save your business hundreds, possibly thousands, on custom charges with Space Hub Dairy. Call 048 7187 8077 for more details.
This is an important message for all drivers. From March 31st, the law is changing. When you renew or take out motor insurance, you'll need to provide your driver number. It's on your driving licence, listed under point 4D, so make sure you have it to hand. Without your driver number, you won't get insured. Double check that you have your licence, and if you can't find it, take steps to have a valid licence in time for your insurance renewal date. This message is brought to you by Insurance Ireland and the Motor Insurers Bureau of Ireland in support of a Government of Ireland initiative.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Okie doke, so dry today with a mix of cloud and sunny spells. Highest temperatures of 14 to 16 degrees with light to moderate southerly winds. And as I say, I'm not going to keep saying this all of the while. We're looking at good weather for the next week. And who's to say? Right, we are going to take a very short break and then we are going to be back with the news headlines at 11. And we're going to go down to Letterkenny University Hospital as well in the next hour. You heard from Councillor Albert Doherty there talking about that demonstration that's taking place. We'll be crossing live to that very shortly.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Are you on the hunt for a reliable car that offers exceptional value for money? At iMotors, we have a huge range of 2024 nearly new Nissan models available. Whether it's petrol, hybrid or fully electric, Nissan has a 2024 model that suits your lifestyle. All our nearly new Nissans come with low mileage and are prepared by our expert team. Visit us today at imotors.ie to find out more.
iMotors, fearless generation.
The Loganair sale is now on with savings to put a spring in your step. Save up to 17% off flights when booking online and entering promo code SPRING17. Book by midnight April 1st. Travel from 1st May. Find deals at loganair.co.uk. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. Discount excludes taxes and surcharges.
Here, Siobhan, listen to this email. Felicitations and unalloyed joy to you. Could you help with a small inconvenience? I possess $32 million in an account belonging to my father, the Prince. Oh, the Prince, Siobhan. We need an honest person to bank this amount for us. Oh, we're in the money.
Some things are too good to be true. The Specsavers Too Good deal isn't. Get 2 pairs of glasses for €100. Include single vision lenses to the same prescription. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details.
In the money.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
And it's just turned 11 o'clock, so that means we get a news update and we welcome back into studio Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. The Taoiseach admits the world is about to enter a period of extraordinary economic turbulence ahead of looming tariff announcements by the US President. Donald Trump has signalled Wednesday for when he will reveal widespread reciprocal tariffs. It could impact a number of sectors around Europe, including the pharmaceutical industry in Ireland. Uisce Éireann has confirmed work on the water main from Clonmany to Mindoran will start earlier than planned. The section of mains has been the subject of regular bursts, including a significant one within the past 2 weeks, which left some homes and businesses without water for 24 hours. Local councillor Martin McDermott says he's now been told that work will get underway this week, with hopes it'll be complete before the end of the summer. Donegal County Council is moving to phase out the use of B&B vouchers to tackle homelessness, with more emphasis on the use of hostels and other similar living arrangements. Local councillor Micheál Conmigel Ospig is welcoming that new focus, but says there's a need to ensure that people can stay within their own communities. He said his fear is people in West Donegal may find themselves being sent to Letterkenny or even further. He says that's a scenario that must be avoided so that people can remain at work or in school. 2 incidents of criminal damage in Inishowen on Saturday are under investigation, with calls on those responsible to foot the bill in both instances. In Buncrana on Saturday night, someone drove through a fence at Festival Park on the shore front before driving away. Also on Saturday, a number of trees were damaged in Newton Cunningham. Local councillor Paul Canning is offering a €500 reward there. And a number of people have been arrested after the gates of Leinster House were blocked during a protest. Mothers Against Genocide staged a sleep out at the gates to highlight the ongoing violence in Gaza to coincide with Mother's Day. They had planned to deliver a letter to government ministers later today outlining their demands. And they're the headlines. Back with headlines again at 12 noon.
Donald, thank you very much indeed. OK, we'll be back with more after this short break.
It's not just that Ilma and Julio's crops have been destroyed by extreme floods and drought. It's not just that this has happened again and again. It's not just that fear for their children's future grows greater every day. Climate change is pushing families in Guatemala further into poverty. And it's not just. Please support the Trocra Box Appeal this Lent, because for these families, it's not just a box, it's a lifeline. Give what you can. Call 1-800-408-408 or visit trocra.org. Trocra, together for a just world.
Okay, welcome back. Well done, Tony and James, and all involved to get the day centre open in Carndonagh. I used to work voluntarily in the hospital, and only I don't drive and don't live in Carndonagh no more. I'd be willing to help. Well done, Carndonagh. Great community spirit to get things done. Indeed, that's the way they are in Inishowen, isn't it? For restoration, this much needed service for all our elderly. So I presume that must have said congratulations for this restoration. Now, no DL debate preview today. The podcast is on tonight, of course, and Brendan Devaney with guests will be previewing Donegal versus Derry in the opening game of the Ulster Championship. So former Derry star Enda Muldoon, the 2012 All-Ireland champion Ryan Bradley and football icon Peter Cannon also on the show. After back-to-back championship series, Brendan will be joined by under-20 manager Gary Boyles. That's a good show. So we're not here to talk about it, but if you want to talk about it, how do you think our season's going to go? And when I say our, I'm speaking from Donegal, but of course many of you listening from other parts of the country. Any comments on the football? Let us know. 086 60 25,000. Right, now, Sarah Terry is also known to you as the made-up mummy, very popular on social media, and Sarah joins us now. Hiya, Sarah.
Hiya, Greg. What's the crack? How's things?
It's all good. I hope you're really well too. And you were talking on your socials recently. Well, I'll let you frame it, Sarah, because I don't want to get it wrong. So what were you highlighting, and sort of what emerged from that?
So I suppose I just came on as someone myself who has struggled with kind of weight issues since I've had kids when I was 18, 19. I've kind of fluctuated in weight, going up and down, and tried all the diets on the market, and that's grand. So I thought I would kind of document my kind of story of losing weight and hoping to get down and feel happier in myself more than anything. And I just put up a video then. Actually, I was scrolling on TikTok and I seen this video about food noise. And I thought, oh, right, okay, I'll just have a listen to it. And it really spoke to me. Everything it was saying, I was like, I didn't know this was a thing. So basically, food noise is in your head. There's a constant chatter about food going on all the time that you don't even realise is happening because it's your mind and you don't think this is a thing. And when I heard a name for it, I thought, oh my God, I have this. And I've had it my whole life, really. And it's like you're constantly thinking, oh, there's a bit of cheese in the kitchen. I wonder would we would have cheese and crackers. No, I've just eaten. I better not have that. But you can have it if you want because you don't need to have too much. You know, you're constantly thinking about food, but you don't even realise it's happening.
Yeah, and
so
the reason this is a thing is because then, Sarah, there are others, and I think you referenced that the slim people are less inclined to sort of have this food conversation in their consciousness.
So I actually listened to another video and somebody said this, and I don't know because I'm not a naturally slim person, so I'm not sure if this is even a thing, but I did get messages back to say that, yeah, they did have this too. Are you still there?
I'm listening intently, Sarah, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, so I didn't realise, but a lot of people did write to me saying, Sarah, this doesn't happen to me. I finish food when I'm full, and I don't hear any voices. I don't think about food at all until I'm hungry again. And that's really never happened to me. And the amount of messages that I have got are in the hundreds, and they're all saying, meet your sister. I'm the same. I've had this my whole life. I didn't realise it was a thing. But it's constant thinking about food, and you don't even realise it's happening.
And how has it made you feel that it's kind of been identified now, Sarah? Because, you know, you were ticking along, and now this has sort of been brought to the fore as a thing. Is it the type of thing maybe you feel, well, I have this information now, I can work on it, or and I don't know how one might do that. I have some ideas, but I won't say here. But like, do you feel empowered that you're conscious of this now, or is it like, oh, blooming hell, this is another thing to deal with?
No, well, it's just, I think when you have weight issues, you don't realise how hard you're struggling just to try and keep weight off. And now having a name for it, it's kind of thought, actually, this weight issues is more than just tracking calories, eating this, eating less, moving more. It's really a lot more. It's a lot more psychological than you'd actually think. And
do you find yourself
I'm not
also?
alone.
Do you find yourself also? Was it part of it? Talking about in your mind about exercising or what you might do or what you might join, or does that form part of this internal conversation?
Well, with my weight issues, it's always like, well, I don't eat that much.
Okay.
I'm not snacking at night. I go for my walk every day. So you're kind of always battling with yourself going, why is this happening to me? But meanwhile, you're sitting thinking, oh, there's a packet of crisps in the kitchen. I wonder, could I eat that? No, but there's a lot of calories, but there's no less calories in this other one.
Okay.
And this is all the chat that's constantly going on that you just didn't realise
But Sarah,
you were listening to.
I hope it's not cheeky for me to say, but if someone comes across you, they wouldn't expect this from me. They wouldn't necessarily identify you as being overweight, if that makes sense. Is this something that this is just because even whether other people believe it or not, because you feel it, that's the issue here, is it?
Yeah, and until you walk in somebody's shoes that deals with this, it's very hard to know. And I've got messages from girls saying, you seem so confident. I never realised that you're like that. But you put on, it's not a persona. I'm very honest on my social media. I talk, I put up a video. I don't listen to it back. It's just the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And people don't realise that, yeah, I love dressing up. But if you notice, every few months when I go up in my weight, I don't put up the clothes posts. I don't do all this.
Right,
and that's me going back into myself. And I am very confident. But behind it all, I really struggle with this. And I look at myself and I really don't like what I see.
No, I don't think
really
also, Sarah, I don't think this is just women. I'm recognising a lot of stuff in myself in what you're saying. To be honest
100%.
with you, I probably overthink about food. And not wanting to, and probably getting on the scales too much. So I think this is not just, obviously nothing's just girls or women, but as you talk about it, I think a lot of us are at this crack.
Yeah, and I actually spoke to a woman in a shop the last day. He said that she has a child who is constantly thinking about
Well,
food.
that's more worrying, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always there. I think if you have weight issues or food is in your head, it's always there. If you're a naturally slim person, and I'm not speaking for naturally slim people because I'm just saying what I've got messages on and what I've listened to. I have no idea. So I'm not labeling anybody that's naturally slim as not getting this. But I know from my own experience, it's everybody. Everybody has this. And it's only when you say things out loud like this where it all comes out and people go, yeah, this is me. This is, you're speaking from what is going on in my head.
All right, okay. Now, there's no harm in thinking about your calorie consumption, and there's no harm thinking about, calorie deficits or what have you. We're talking here about almost obsessively thinking about it, so that you really, normally you might think about food when you are hungry. These are considerations you're having when you're not. Sinead McGee, I think, is a lady who commented on this post as well, if I'm not mistaken, and has a bit of a insight into this, I believe. Sinead, good morning to you. Thanks for holding. I know you were listening to Sarah and as interested as I am in what she has to say. But why did sort of what Sarah was talking about hit home with you so much, Sinead?
Hi, how are you? Basically, I've just been in the same position as Sarah has, although I would say it is probably since I was a kid. I've always fluctuated in weight and just really struggled, and like that it is the food noise. I think it is like, it's validating for there to be a term for it now, if that makes sense. That it's not just, I don't understand why everyone else can do it and I can't. And being extra hard on yourself, but it's, like that, as Sarah said, not everybody has this going on where it's like all consuming thoughts about what you're eating or what you're going to eat, or I shouldn't have ate that, but actually I'll just start again tomorrow, and all those kind of thoughts.
Am I correct in saying then, Sinead, because of it being thought in this way, if there's a weight fluctuation or say one gains weight, that then begins to have an emotional impact, doesn't it? It becomes far more important than perhaps it should be. It's not about, oops, I've put on a couple of pounds, I'll need to drop them. You're probably thinking too much about it, or beating yourself up even more because the thought of food is so ever present.
100%. I completely agree with that. Like that, I do think that eating and anything to do with food is a lot more of an emotional thing. in regards to like eating disorders and everything like that. Like you were saying there, Sarah doesn't, look like someone who's overweight, but overweight people do suffer from eating disorders and all the same kind of things as well.
Of course, and underweight people, or people who might seem the ideal weight, also can have discrepancies in body fat, or their health because of what they eat. So one's appearance is actually really not a really strong indicator of someone's health, be it physically or mentally either, for that matter.
No, 100%. I have quite a few friends that really struggle to put on weight, and they get very invalidated by other people because, like, oh, but you're so skinny, what have you got to be given out about, and etc. Like, but they would love to put on weight and they just can't. So it does go both ends. Like,
you reference sensory issues as well, and how it might be tied into this, Sinead. What's your belief there?
So I actually met Aisling Larkin a couple of weeks ago. She is a TV chef on the 6 o'clock news, and she has like a whole background in food psychology as well. And as we were doing like a photo shoot for her, she was talking about it because I was eating, I don't know if you know the ever famous rice crackers from Lidl, like the sweet chili ones.
Okay, yeah,
I think everybody's a bit obsessed with them.
Lovely with butter on.
No, they're like little small crackers.
I know. I've had them. I
they're-
just have an addiction to butter as well, and try and put it on everything. But
Yeah.
that's just me, Sinead. Go ahead. Yeah, you were talking to her, and
They're great. Like, and I was saying I was eating them, and I was saying, look, I'm so addicted to them. And she's like, well, it's more like a sensory thing as well. They're such a high satisfaction food with the flavor and the crunch specifically that it's hitting dopamine releasers. We're releasing dopamine every time you have one. So then obviously the more you want to eat them, the more dopamine you're getting. So then you are going into overeating, but it's maybe not even a conscious you want to binge eat or anything. It's that or the sensory satisfaction that you're getting.
Makes sense.
That it can take some people, kind of like, I think she was referencing her daughter, and she was saying that like her daughter is a stuffer, so she will stuff her face to hit that same dopamine release that maybe other people wouldn't have to do that. Do you know? And I can definitely agree with myself is the same, is like with the stuffer, that it's like, it's not out of a hunger thing, it's a sensory thing nearly.
Yeah,
which just made, I was like, wow, it makes so much sense.
You know, I think it's important that we all listen to each other, because someone's messaged in that, they think about food all the time. It's not a thing. The caller might be missing how we're talking about the way people are thinking about food. It's not about, oh, I can't wait to have something nice tonight. It's the processing. It's a Sarah, how would you describe it? It's an unhealthy conversation about sort of a permanent. It's not a useful conversation about food in your own head like this, I don't think.
No, but it is a constant chatter. Do you ever get up in the morning and think, what am I going to make for dinner this evening? What could I make that's healthy? Oh, it's using a lot of butter. Well, I might not use butter because that would be bad. Then butter isn't not that bad for you. It is a bit healthy, they say now. So maybe it's the constant chatter in your head, and it doesn't go away, but it just has a name now.
Okay, so what do we do with this information, Sinead or Sarah? What do we do with this info?
I'm not really that sure, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm
I
just
think
wondering, with like CBD, would
CBD,
something like CBD be useful for it? Do you know what I mean? Is it in the same space as sort of the repetitive, obsessive thinking that someone with anxiety might have, for an example? Like, is it in the same space where the sort of same conversation might be useful?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, is it a hypnotherapy thing? Is it a chat with a counsellor kind of thing? I'm not that sure. It's just, it was always there, and I never knew it was there until it was named, until I seen a video. And once I said it, hundreds of people messaged me to say, I have this. And they're all people that are struggling with their weight their whole life as well.
Yes.
I mean, and obviously doing the diets and stuff through the years hasn't helped probably your metabolism and things. But it's just something that's there, and I just found it a really interesting thing.
No,
and when
I
I
think
put
so
it up,
too.
I got a huge
and we'll see
response
what
back,
reaction we get. Sinead, is consciousness of it a help? Do you know what I mean? That if you go, okay, right, this is a thing, and one can work on themselves a little bit. Am I being a bit naive?
Mhm.
Is that helpful? That we have a name for something, other people are in the same boat, and maybe we can do some internal work on ourselves to now that we know it's a thing.
I think so, 100%. Like that, when I just say, like, it's very validating. And like that, because I believe, like, food is such a mental thing that you're not being so incredibly hard on yourself and punishing yourself nearly. Because obviously, if without knowing what it is, you can go in extremes where you just try to stop eating altogether. But it's just having a bit more understanding of what's going on in your own head. That I think everyone can be a little bit more gentle with themselves.
And I also think it's
And
a great
possibly more.
Sorry, beg your pardon, Sinead. I was going to say as well, I mean, we don't want to plant any seeds on our young people's heads, and I'm not really sure that you can do that. But it is an interesting conversation maybe to have at home, because I think, Sinead, you referenced that, I believe it was you, that maybe you've had this since you were a child. I can imagine it might be even worse now. I don't know what age you are, but, even in the short 5 years, the whole social media thing has blown up, and there's much more pressure on young boys, and I think particularly young girls now in this space.
I agree. Yeah, I do think like that. It's like kind of safety of your home discussion. Like that. Not every I would be quite a confident person as well. So I do know like when there's loads of things you're seeing on TikTok every day, it can be overwhelming and become very consuming for a young person's mind and be very, like that, maybe not
But I
doing the
also
good things.
Yes, Sarah.
I do
good
also
parts
think
of it.
this was a thing when I was younger. I mean, we grew up in a time. Well, I grew up in a time where there was an awful body image. You had the magazines slating anybody for having a ripple on their thigh as a tiny bit of cellulite. You took everything out. If you weren't a size 0, you were ripped apart in magazines, and that's what I grew up watching. So even now, even though you think, oh, she's grand, you're fine. In my head, I don't like myself. Do you know what I mean? And I do like myself. It's not that, but you do have this niggle in your head.
Is there a bit of body dysmorphia in there as well then too? Because if we're standing in front of a mirror and we see something that other people don't see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that can happen at any weight, at any age. Is
Well,
there a bit of that in there as well?
I think there definitely is. And I don't know what kind of body dysmorphia I have, but in my head, I think, I go into shop and I think, oh, that'd be lovely on me. And I go and try myself on and I look in the mirror and go, is that what you actually look like? I don't realise. And to say that, like, at my height and weight, as a BMI, I am actually obese now. Like, I am in the obese category. So it's not in my head as, I know the BMI is very here or there because I should be 7 stone for a perfect BMI for my height. But I am obese, and that's a fact at my weight and my height. So just because it doesn't look like it so much, it really is there.
But that's medically. I mean, you don't have to be very much overweight to be in that obese category.
No.
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 But I understand what you're saying. I just don't like hear you say that about yourself, Sarah. I know it's.
I know,
but if
but
you're
that's the
using height
internal
and,
thoughts all
if
the
you're
time.
using
Yeah.
height and weight ratio, you can come at that. But who isn't? Lots of us are, and
Yeah.
I think you can have a higher BMI and be really healthy as well, and you can have someone with a low BMI and they're not. But listen, it's your feelings, and I shouldn't really even try and correct you. It's just that I think you're a long way from that in real terms. But I take your point.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
And I think a lot of people feel like that. It's just I know I'm not the only one from the messages I've got that do feel they do feel the same way.
That
it's
is exactly
it's a
why
big issue.
it's
Yeah.
exactly why we're talking about it, Sarah and Sinead, both of you. Thank you so very much indeed. We'll see what the population listening to us believe. Take care of yourselves, both of you. Thank you. You can check Sarah Terry out on socials. She's in there as Made Up Mummy. And we also spoke there to Sinead McGee. All right, okay. Now, some might say this is an American thing and, the stuff that people might say, but it's important. It's important to discuss this stuff. That can be quite debilitating if it's going on in your head all of the time. And it can be like someone who has the odd bet here and there, and it's not an issue. They might bet in the Grand National or a football match, and that's fine. And then you get someone who is betting all the time. Both of them are betting, but one is being very much disadvantaged by that. And it's the same sometimes with how you think about food. It can be unhealthy at times. And I think Sarah recognised that in herself. And then what happened is that many others sort of went, that's my story as well.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Make more with fish at Dunn's Stores, with everything you need for a seafood dinner. Visit our fishmonger and pick up a fresh side of salmon for just €15.99. Or mix and match 3 for €10 on your choice of 14 delicious seafood options, like hake fillets and succulent king prawns. Plus, save at the till with a 5 off 25 grocery voucher. Dunn's Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next in-store grocery shop of €25 or more.
For self-builders creating the home of their dreams, Callahan's Electrical is your trusted partner. We offer quality brands like Samsung, Neff, Rangemaster, Bosch and AGA. When self-building, think Callahan's Electrical. Visit us in Letterkenny or Burt. Callahan's Electrical, where quality meets commitment.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
It is 11:23. Santi only comes once a year if you're a good boy or girl, but our own Santi, Sean Quinn, he just pops up left, right and in the centre. Good morning, Santa.
Good morning, Greg. I feel like Santa, actually.
Yeah, of course, because anytime you're on the radio, often we're talking about money. And I mentioned a little earlier on our €20,000 competition that's running at the moment. It's a home makeover draw in association with Foy's. So there's 10 grand to spend in Foy's, which is amazing what the stuff they have. You can do so much work with that. But also 10 grand in cash, which you can add to your renovations or do with what you will. Get yourself a change of car, whatever it might be. And tickets are €15 per ticket, or you can get 5 for 50. We've had a good take-up on this so far. You can go to our website, highlandradio.com, or in fact, if you prefer, though it's perfectly safe and secure on the website, you can give us a call to an 07491 25,000. So, as if that were not enough, what's happening next?
So what we're going to do from today, we're going to tell people that from next Monday on your show, we're going to start off with your show, we're going to give away €1,000 every day.
Wow, okay.
From next Monday right through to next Friday. So we'll do it across the shows. We'll do
5K
your show.
then?
Five grand
Right, okay.
in cash. So your show, then we'll go to John's on the Tuesday, David's Wednesday, Ivan on the Thursday, and we'll do the breakfast show on the Friday.
Lee Gooch's show on Friday, the Naughty Alarm Clock. Okay, so that puts a bit of pressure on us then. So, because if we were going to buy a ticket, we might have sort of thought, right, I'll get one on the 15th of April. Bottom line is if you want to be in all 6 draws now, you have to get your ticket before the weekend.
Yeah, buy it today or buy it tomorrow, but get it before next Monday. I'd say probably about 10 o'clock next Monday will be a cut-off. So do us a favour. If you're going to buy the ticket, if you have to phone here 07491 25,000, do it early.
All right, so one ticket's 15.
Yeah.
You could buy 5 for 50. Now, as I mentioned a little earlier on, it's great if our houses are worth more, if we're lucky enough to have a home. But if you got rid of it, you still have to get another house. So we hold on to our assets, right? Because you need somewhere to live. And a lot of us are, when we're lucky enough, spending a bit of money on the home. And you can get an awful lot done just with the 10 grand to spend in Foy's. But obviously, if you wanted to throw the €10,000 cash on top of that as well, happy days. That's a lot of money.
Is it? Well, it's a nice option. It's your choice that you'll spend the 10,000 in the house. If you want to put another 5 to it, you can. And then go on a holiday. It's entirely up to you. It's a great price to get to have the 2 options.
It could be your front room. It could be bathrooms. If you go at it right. People aren't tiling bathrooms as much anymore. I don't know. There's all options. You can spend it on your toilet, your sink, your shower, bath, whatever it might be. That's all well and good. You can do with it whatever you wish. You spend 10 grand in Foy's. And they've got a fantastic range of stuff. You were there a couple of weeks ago, last week, launching this. Give people who, and I think everyone should know Foy's & Co., but give us a sense of when you're in there, what kind of stuff's there. We're all fittings, furniture.
Yeah, and it's the easiest way to put it is they've got everything for the home.
Right. No, that's the lazy way of doing it.
I asked
you a question.
They have lovely couches, Greg.
Thanks.
With seats. They've got paint. They've got curtains. But you know what they've got? They've got experience.
Yeah.
And that's, I think you can't buy that.
They make sure you spend the 10 grand the right way.
They'll help you. They'll actually take you through the whole process. They'll go to the room. They'll look and see what you want to do. and they'll work with you side by side, step by step, to deliver what you want. And I think that is 10,000 to do what and buy what you want, to get that experience as well. I think that's priceless.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've done this, and it worked very well the last time, and previous winners incredibly happy with their experience at Foy's. A €10,000 makeover, you can spend that you've got €10,000 to spend in Foy's effectively.
Yep.
And then we give you another €10,000 in cash. You can do with that what you wish. Maybe that's your dream holiday to Disneyland, I don't know. And if that weren't enough, Sean's just announced that from Monday, €1,000 per day to give away Monday through Friday across the daytime shows here on and into the evening, in fact, shows across the Highland platform.
Yeah, and you can buy your tickets now. You can buy your tickets all next week as well. And as we always say, the good thing is they all go back into the draw for the big one. So if you come out and you win €1,000, you do
it's
have
happen, Sean, eventually.
well, we both know it's going to
It's
happen.
gonna happen.
We do.
So the Trombola's back in next week then?
We'll have it back in here next Monday morning.
There was a little mini one knocking about. I would prefer that because I have guests in here and the Trombola's massive. Are you going to the concert tonight?
I am, yeah.
Are you?
I'm going down shortly.
Are we getting the red jacket out?
No, they won't let me sing at that one, you see. No.
It's funny, you know exactly what I mean by the jacket. There'll not be a 3 o'clock in the morning video popping up somewhere.
Red's been very kind because it was an off kind of pinky colour that I had on.
All right, okay.
But we won't go into that one.
But you'll be very well dressed, I'm sure.
Of course I will, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I wonder where this one's leading.
I don't know what you're on about.
I'll leave that one to you, Greg. Go on.
Go
on. Yeah.
So you're on about me being crowned the most dapper gentleman at the Donegal Association dance in Dublin. I beat up. Noel Cunningham was there.
Wow.
Better dressed. Gavin Boyle from Mary from Dunlow was there in a beautiful blue tuxedo jacket, sky blue. He looked $1 million. Oh, not the best.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not the best. Jason Black was there.
Yeah.
He looked fantastic, just down from a mountain. Him and his beautiful wife. Did he win it? I don't think so. Phil Coulter was there.
Yeah.
John McLaughlin from Donegal County Council was there, the CEO. Do you think he won Best Dressed Man? No.
No.
I have a couple of more names. I won't kill you. Mickey Joe Hart, fresh from Dancing on Ice or Dancing with the Stars. He represented Strabane and Donegal with aplomb.
This has already gone on far too long.
Did he win it?
Get to the point.
Get
to the point.
I won it.
I saw the pictures. I say within 2 minutes your photograph was up on social media.
I was so. It's actually quite sad. I was so pleased. I was so happy.
Well, there's only one name you didn't mention there.
Who?
I wasn't there.
No, that you see.
I wasn't there.
This was the first time I've been there in a couple of years that you weren't there, and I win.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
There's
so apologies to Phil and Mickey Joe and Noel and Gavin. A previous winner there, obviously, was looking to retain his title, was Pat Nora.
Okay.
Brilliant man from the West. He looked fantastic, but no, I had to uncrown him. And on it went, so it was fantastic.
And I think that, let's be fair here,
Matt McGranahan was there, and in the bathroom, a little dig at me. Because he had a cravat and everything on, and he looked really nice.
Yeah.
I thought, Matt, we've worked a bit together on the radio and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he was pleased for me? No, he was sore. He was not happy. I don't think he was happy.
I was so happy for you. But I have to say, Aisling must take all the credit.
Okay, and
1,000,000%.
And I'm going to have to, I said this earlier, I'm going to say it again. McElhenny's. Shop local.
Yeah.
Win big.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's
it was Sandra and the wonderful crew down there that gave me that suit.
Was that the one that we did last year?
Exactly, yeah.
Ah.
So it came out and it's a winner. So thank you very much, Michael Hennies.
Had you the white shoes on?
The confirmation shoes.
Yeah. I so like them on you.
Oh, my word. Okay. Well, listen, the fantastic stylists.
Greg, regardless if I was there or not there, an award is an award. Fair play to you.
Yeah. Anyway, it's I'm saying that with my tongue in my cheek because it's another way of congratulating everyone involved down in Dublin, the Bonington and Martin and the crew there. They pump that food out like that there.
Yeah,
it's
great
unbelievable.
Great spot.
Yeah. Okay. So get your tickets now. Thanks for indulging me there, Sean, for a bit of crack. €10,000 to spend at Foy's. €10,000 in cash, and now we're going to give you €1,000 a day from next Monday, the first on this show, and then throughout the day and evening programming every day next week. So get your tickets. HighlandRadio.com. We've invested a lot to make sure that's perfectly safe and secure, but some people might just want to give us a call, and that's fine too. 07491 25,000. But Sean, I don't have a card. I only deal in cash. What do I do in that situation?
You can actually come to the station. Yeah, you can buy it here and we'll look after you.
All right, brilliant stuff. So the giveaway begins next Monday on this show, €1,000. Fantastic. Then around the Northwest Tuesday, Jive Time on Wednesday, the Power Hour on Thursday, and the Naughty Alarm Clock. Good luck. Enjoy tonight. I'm not sure what my status is. I have tickets, but I have yet to...
Sold out show.
I know, but I have tickets, but I've yet to get full planning permission. I've got outline planning permission.
Oh, you'll get the full. Come here. If you're coming this evening, come early. The doors will be open roughly about 6:45. Show starts at 8 o'clock, but do come early because there's going to be a big crowd there.
It's going to be a great night, isn't it?
Brilliant
Who's on? Do you have it on the top of your head?
What's that?
The acts that are performing.
On the top of my head.
No, it's not. I'm just, I do know, but I'm just don't have them off the top of my head. But anyway, listen, anyone who's going,
it's going to be great. Conor Gallen's there tonight.
Good.
He's coming on for
It's the only man I know takes requests for jokes. You know, normally they try and come up with new stuff. Conor takes requests.
You should take a leaf out of his book, Greg.
Great.
Thanks a million.
All right, take care, Sean.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Think ice cold milk splashed on your favourite cereal. Think a latte when your partner asks, do you fancy a coffee? Think a bowl of delicious hot porridge on a cold morning. Think a refreshing glass of milk with your dinner. Think hot chocolate with marshmallows no matter your age. Think never having to worry about the discomfort of lactose intolerance. Think milk. Think not for me. Think again. Avonmore lactose-free milk. All the taste and nutritional goodness of regular milk without the lactose.
Back to the pitch with Brian McCormick Sports. Football boots for all ages. Adidas Copa Pure Pro in real soft leather. It's a must try on. Adidas Predator Pro in soft ground. The perfect boot for extra grip on pitch. Boots for kids in Velcro or lace. With all your training essentials, gum shields, shorts and compression tops. Look the part, play the part. In-store and online. Click on bmcsports.ie.
Má rihan do wadra a níag cuireach, níar do wadra an Milán. Má onsin do wadra tréad, explóra cuireach agus uan, níar do wadra an Milán. Cuma cá déansiv, cuinig smacht do wadra a gcónaí. Mar cibé rud a dhéanann siad, ní orthú an Milán. Is urtsa atá an locht. Is tosatá freagrach as do wadra, Tilla Olash at gov.ie/Madri. Tachtarach do Realtas na Héireann.
Imagine what you could do with €20,000 to refresh your living space. Highland Radio and Foy's are giving you the chance to transform your home with a €10,000 home makeover draw, plus €10,000 in cash. Get your tickets now at highlandradio.com for a chance to make your dream home a reality.
Now, we're joined by Aaron Guthrie, who's the new PRO with Donegal Mountain Rescue Team. Good morning to you, Aaron. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your appointment there.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks for having me.
How are you keeping?
I'm doing really well, yes.
Brilliant stuff. All right. Just remind us of the brilliant work the Donegal Mountain Rescue Team. You know, we've got a few emergency services in this country, and some are obvious, some not so obvious. You know, when an emergency call goes in, we have the state-funded ones like the fire service, of course, the Gardaí, the ambulance service. Then we have others that aren't, like the RNLI and the Donegal Mountain Rescue Team, but they're called on very regularly, and not least in our county, of course, because that's where you're based, but also we've got loads of mountains that people love to ramble about. But it's not just mountains either. Now, you're recruiting at the moment. Talk to me about it.
We are. So, Greg, we operate quite a small team, and we have a sort of outsized impact for the number of people we have. So we tend to have about 30 people right now, and we're thinking about the future. We're thinking about the needs of the public through the summertime this year. And also we've got a natural amount of, you know, we're a volunteer organization. There's a natural amount of people who have all their commitments in their life, who spend a few years with us at a time, and then they move on to the next thing. So it's a good moment now for us to start the recruitment. We're looking for about 10 people, and what those people would do would be come to an information session and then join a full year's training. So when you're trying to think about the kind of people we're looking for, it's people obviously who love being in the outdoors. I think that's the obvious bit. who isn't afraid to get, into the muck and the wind and the wet. And I should say it's a far cry from winning an award for a tuxedo. And so, like,
well, I don't want to sort of make this about me again, Aaron, but it was a three-piece suit. Continue. You could crack. Go on.
Well, yes. So ultimately, we're looking for people who are reliable for call-outs too. So we had around 22 call-outs in the last year. That's in 2024. And they're so varied and broad. And again, somebody with a team player attitude, good communication, willing to get stuck in. We're all volunteers. We all love being out in the mountains. And actually, the critical part is making sure that we are making a difference in the community.
Yeah, and there's a lot to it as well. A lot of skills to learn, but not beyond the scope. Rigging the gear, going out in the call, cleaning the gear when you're finished, which I'm sure is that not everyone looks forward to, but that stuff has to be done. It has to be left just ready to go the next time, because that next call could come in 30 seconds later or 20 days later, who's to say? And those, I think this is one of those conversations, Aaron, where people will know who we're talking to, right? So I think in the blurb you say experience on the mountains would be would give people a priority but not essential. But I think people know themselves if they could if they could go with the rigor of this and what might be required. I don't know if you want to outline that, but you need to be good on your feet. A knowledge of mountains and what have you would be good. A people's person, you might have to reach an injured party and you want to reassure them and tell them everything's okay, we'll get you down, or 112's on the way. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. And working in tough conditions, that you have to trust your knowledge. Visibility may not be great, but you need to get there because we know where that person's phone's pinging. Things like that,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes, that's true. And I do have to outline too that we're not expecting that people who are interested in this kind of work would already have all the qualifications necessary to carry out the work. That's exactly why we have a full year of training. You start as a probationary member, and we train you from all the way from A to Z, all the equipment, all the vehicles, how to do navigation, even in a whiteout at the top of a mountain where you can see nothing, patient treatment, the medical courses. We do all the training. We have a resident a medical trainer in our team. And so while I want to make it clear that people who have somewhat of an interest in this kind of work, who would feel like they would belong in it to some degree, if you feel like you don't have sort of qualifications or the paper to back that up, please do apply anyway. There's plenty of people in our team that started with no clear paper to back it all up, but they're brilliant key part of our team right now.
Yeah, and there's conversations happen before you get too deep into this with experts involved with the DMRT to find out, are you capable or is it a good fit for you? This is about really getting expressions of interest, isn't it? And then letting the process take it from there. Sooner rather than later is the message. DonegalMRT.ie. I mean, there's a plethora for reasons. It's amazing to have such an important role in your community. It's amazing to be able to, potentially have a life-saving intervention. And on, Aaron. I don't know if there's any advantages that you want to add into that, but I think they're pretty obvious there, that it's just a wonderful thing to be involved in.
It is, yeah. And you get a chance to make a real difference. Like, you're getting called out to people, maybe it's one, maybe it's a group, who are in need and they need your help. So we're tasked by An Garda Síochána. If anyone is out in the mountain that need our help, or in upland or in remote areas, we are going to get the call, and we're going to be out there in any rain, any time of the year. There's no holiday periods, and you're just offered the chance to really help and improve the outcomes of people. So for me personally, that's exactly why I'm a part of it. And there's very few other things in my life that will get me up bright and early at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning for training.
There you go. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that because that sums it up perfectly. DonegalMRT.ie is where you can get more information. Don't second guess yourself. You'll have heard from Aaron. You'll know if this is a fit for you. Make that initial reach out and they can take it from there. Well done, Aaron. Thanks. Great to chat to you. I'm sure we'll talk again regularly in your new role. Congratulations on that too. Aaron Guthrie, who is the new PRO with Donegal Mountain Rescue Team. Take care, Aaron.
Thanks, Greg.
Bye-bye. Take care. Thanks so very much indeed. Right. Protest for better cancer care facilities. That's ongoing at the moment. It's the main gate at Letterkenny University Hospital. We're going to be crossing down to our team down there very shortly. So stay tuned for that. Just as we make contact, let's take that quick break.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Mike Denver in concert with special guest Red Hurley at the Millennium Forum Derry on Saturday, April 5th. Tickets at Millennium Forum box office and also online. That's Mike Denver with guest Red Hurley at the Millennium Forum on Saturday, April 5th.
Cooney's Home Interiors huge spring sale now on. Massive discounts as we clear stock. Reclining sofa was $2,097, now $1,299. Table and 4 chairs was $795, now $499. 20% off in stock mattresses. Cushions and sheets only €5. Don't miss out. Sale ends Sunday, April 6th. Treat yourself to a bargain at the spring sale in Cooney's Home Interiors, Letterkenny Retail Park.
Make great photos into beautiful gifts at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. Different gift ideas include canvas prints, freestanding or ready-to-hang art blocks, and personalised photo books, perfect to mark any occasion. There's also jigsaws, calendars, mugs, and much more. For details, visit mcgees.ie. Turn your favourite moments into something truly special with McGee's Chemist Letterkenny.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Okay, dry with a mix of cloud and sunny spells. Temperatures of 14 to 16 degrees with light to moderate southerly breezes. Dry with long clear spells developing tonight. Temperatures 5 to 7 degrees. Now, I must say, if you don't mind, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, that there is a very important thing taking place at the front of Letterkenny University Hospital. Cancer affects 1 in 2 of us. And, there are serious discrepancies in cancer services. We talk about it on the show all the time here. And eventually it's going to affect us either directly or someone we love. And I just would like to have seen more people at this event. I don't know, maybe the organisers are content with how many have turned up, but we talk about services and poor services. They only get improved really if enough noise is made. But anyway, we'll get a sense of what's going on down there now, because we cross over to our journalist Donna Marie Doherty from the newsroom, who's currently outside Letterkenny University Hospital. Donna Marie, good morning to you.
Hi, Greg. Good morning. We're down here now. Thank God the weather has held up for us. At the moment, there's around 35, 40 people here, and I'm actually with Rosina. And Rosina has been the lady behind us. This is the second protest. So all I can do is I can pass you over here now, and we can get a wee feel for how Rosina thinks it's going. You can pass over to Greg now.
Yeah, okay. Well, just as those headphones cross over, and we'll get Donna Marie to set the scene a little bit as well. Rosina, fair play to you. You're back out there trying to make a difference. We really appreciate what you're doing in trying to improve services. For those not aware, remind us why you and your supporters are there.
We're here today, Greg, because we need a standalone cancer care unit in Letterkenny. That's not good enough that the people from Donegal have to travel to go in Dublin.
What do you think of the turnout? There's some, very committed people there, and fair play to them. But I was trying to make the point just in the preamble, and you wouldn't have heard that, this is so impactful on so many of our lives. We should have 3,000 people down there, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we should. And I am slightly disappointed because a lot of the people here are from Anishone. Donegal's a huge county, and I am a wee bit disappointed in that. But whatever, I'm grateful for everyone has that has turned out.
Yeah, of course, and it is a working morning, and not everyone can make the time. And I know some people are bound to have taken time off work, but Rosina and the rest of the committed folk, they're going to be at the front gates until 3:30 p.m. So it's 11:45 now. If you can get down and give them a bit of support, because we're all invested in this. Rosina, some have been through cancer treatment, some have been with people going through cancer treatment, and for others, God forbid, they're going to have that conversation with their consultant at some point. You know, this affects all of us.
It does, and just 20 minutes of your time. And I have a petition here that you can come and just sign. You don't even have to stay. I'm also a wee bit annoyed that there's a plenary meeting in Lifford this morning, and only 7 councillors thought to call here before it, so they had between 9 and half 11.
All right.
I am very annoyed about that.
Okay, stay there.
Yes,
sorry, Rosina. No, listen,
These are the people that I expect to come here to support me. And they're not here. I've got 3 TDs here now, which is brilliant. The Charles Ward, Pierce Doherty, and Padraig McGrath. So I'm delighted with them 3 for turning. Yeah, that really means a lot.
All right, Rosina, I'll let you hand back over. Thanks for speaking to me. I'll let you hand back over to Donna Marie Doherty there now, and I'll go back to Donna Marie in a second. I want to bring in Mary Doherty here as well, though, before we cross back to Letterkenny University Hospital. Mary, you were down there a little earlier, and I think you're a wee bit disappointed, yeah?
Well, I think Rosina's putting it very nice. I'm very angry. I'm very frustrated. As you have said, every family either knows somebody, some of their family members, their friends, whatever, have been affected by cancer at some stage in their life. I could nearly cry. Poor Rosina has put so much into it. She's come out, oh my God, amazing woman. And I just don't know, do people realise this is Letterkenny we're fighting for, or Donegal we're fighting for, not just on a show? And I think Rosina pointed that out. Please, please, anybody out there, just half an hour. Just give that. It's for your benefit, for your family's benefit, for everybody's benefit that this is happening.
And I get the impression, Mary, too, that a lot of people are down there for Rosina because they know how hard she's been battling and she's taken on this fight. I think a lot of people that are there are her supporters, which is unfortunate. I mean, that's great, don't get me wrong. But I think what you're saying is the wider population perhaps aren't represented there, which is really quite remarkable, considering we complain a lot.
But, I mean, this is what happens. And do you know what frustrates me? The people who complain the most are the people who do the least. But even just come out half an hour, okay? I thought there would have been people from different clubs throughout Donegal at this protest. I really did. I suppose I'm on a different planet then. I'm beginning to think. But it's so disappointing because everybody at some stage has been affected.
Oh, yeah.
Just half an hour.
By 1 degree.
I mean, we.
Even get down there for 1, get down for 12:31, whatever time it is. Listen, it's up to the public what they do. I'm just reinforcing what you're saying. If you care about the future of cancer services in your county, it's not just at this hospital, it's in your county. Well, then, if you do care about it, you need to get down. If you don't, that's fine. It's up to people what they feel. But anyway, it's just about trying to get better cancer care facilities and supporting the staff there as well. Like, I think a lot of this is about actually saying those nurses and doctors in there, they can't necessarily come out themselves. You know, this is about getting down there and saying, look, we stand with you. We want to see you with better facilities and resources to do the job that you do.
Because they are amazing people, and anybody that's been through that service in Letterkenny, the staff have excelled in everything they've done. They just don't have the facilities, they don't have the funding, and it's so wrong. We deserve better.
All right, Mary, another powerful voice back in Rosina. Donna Marie, I'll pass it over to you. I think you've got some people to speak to. Donna Marie, our journalist Donna Marie Doherty. Take it away, Donna Marie.
So, you're here with your mother, and
okay, we can't. Yeah, Donna Marie, we'll just need you to speak it. Good stuff. All right, okay. Listen, I'm going to have to come back to that. Donna Marie, I'm going to take a very quick break. If you could get Shannon to switch live performance on, because there's a lot of other noise there as well. I think that might help. All right, so I'll come back to you in a second whilst you work on that. So stay where you are. Listen, we're gonna have good, perfect audio for you for our news in a moment. But stay where you are. We were talking about water and water outages and what have you. A caller says pipes are not big enough for all these extra houses that have gone up. Pipes. They're not fit to carry the water. It's a disgrace. Upgrade all the pipes every other week. Pipes are bursting, wasting money on fixing old. Another, I came up the road in Carntona yesterday. I counted 13 spots on the road where water pipes had been fixed. We need a complete new upgrade of all pipes in the county. Another, rainwater harvesting is brilliant. No shortage of rainwater in Ireland, and it tastes far better than the mains. Yeah, I do. And I saw some of these butts being advertised in sort of these, middle. I know they're sold in all hardware stores, but I saw some in the middle aisles, and I thought, actually, might have a go at that. Greg has just explained how the president is just an honorary position, has no power whatsoever. In that case, it should be discontinued and the money put to better use, more jobs for the boys. Well, it's honorary, really. It's about going out and shaking hands and stuff, isn't it? The new mayor of Donegal sounds like someone who will soon be looking for your vote for a Dáil seat. I never asked her of her aspirations beyond that role because maybe there's another time to do that. Hello. With the threat of Trump's tariffs, the Taoiseach talking about it and making the budget more harsh already, would this not be the time to cut down on the numbers of immigrants entering the country instead of hitting the native Irish again in the budget? Can you read this out, as you seem to ignore any of my texts? Well, it's not certainly done purposely. Right, Donna Marie, can I check the sound with you there? Yep, okay, Donna Marie, that's perfect. Right, who have you got with you? You can chat away there. Donna Marie?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me, Donna Marie?
Can you hear me?
Right, okay. We're having tech difficulties. I'll tell you, you might speak to that lady off air and we'll take her up. We heard from Rosina there and the others. Thank you very much indeed. That's Donna Marie Doherty from our newsroom down there. Just slight issues with the sound quality. Greg, I was really annoyed at comments made by Minister for Health Jennifer Carroll McNeill yesterday when, having heard that the nursing union had called off their work to rule, said that patient safety could now be assured. This was a nasty comment, as the nursing union always assured patients that their safety would never be compromised. The only people compromising patient safety is the minister and her staff. If she looks at overcrowding in EDs and waiting lists for urgent surgery, she'll see what I mean. I'm surprised that the union didn't challenge her on her snide comments, as the listener has described them. I'm not saying that that is the case. That they were snide. I don't know what the motivation was. Now, talking about food, fasting for 12 hours daily, exercising and avoiding processed foods can be an effective strategy for maintaining overall health. Carbohydrates like rice, potatoes and bread can cause insulin spikes similar to sugar, prompting the body to store excess fat over time. Frequent insulin spikes may lead to insulin resistance, which increases the risk of long-term diseases such as type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart disease and metabolic syndrome. By moderating carb intake and focusing on whole nutrient-dense foods, the body can better regulate blood sugar levels and metabolism. Regular exercise further enhances fat burning, improves insulin sensitivities and supports long-term well-being. Making mindful dietary choices not only helps with weight management, but also plays a crucial role in preventing chronic diseases linked to high insulin levels. Thanks for trying to get the messages across, and thank you very much for sending them in. Okay. Right, I've done that. Good morning, Greg. I want something done about a family and their wife claiming dole in Ireland, where they're claiming in the UK. They get £1,200 each month on PIP, which is sick pay in the UK, which is not means tested. They've hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank and their own property all over both countries, and all you need to do is go on Facebook and you can see Rolex watches, BMW cars, flashy holidays from Australia, Canada, America, Mexico, and so on and so forth. I work hard for a living and can't afford to travel Ireland because it's too expensive, and these families can boast and brag and laugh at people like us who work hard. I've told fraud and they don't seem to be doing anything about it. You might not be the right person to tell, but at least you can help me tell somebody and make something happen. I have drink with them in pubs and they're earning 80 or 90,000, laughing at our country where we need to get up out of bed and go to work to earn a living. This is totally unfair, they say. I'm not sure what that is referencing, but the person wanted to vent it, and I'm more than happy to help them do that. Right, I was in town at the weekend and looking to buy a Mother's Day card. Most of them were €5 and more. This is far too expensive. Cards like this should only be €2 or €3. Is inflation that high now? Cards is a funny thing because you can go into certain businesses and get really, really good cards at very low prices, and they sort of have them there all year round. I think with certain events that come up like Mother's Day, Father's Day, that shops might mark them up because people are going in at the last minute and maybe they have to carry stock then for another year before they sell another card. So some places they are very expensive. In other places, not quite so. And you can get the same quality of card for much less. I'm open to correction on that, but that's the sort of the sense that I get. But yeah, I take your point, but she's worth it, isn't she? All right, and a tough old weekend for lots of us who've lost our mums there. I'm the type too that I sort of get joy in other people's joy, if that makes sense. And of course, we've our own mum, with Aisling and that. So you still get a bit of that joy. But I know for those of you who lost your mums recently, and some people who lost their mothers 20, 30 years ago, it can be a tough enough all weekend because it reminds you that they're not there with you physically, although I'm sure they're there with you in spirit. But I do think on yous, and as I say, I'm the type, as much as I love my mum and as much as I miss my mum, I can sort of get joy in seeing other people's happiness and what have you, and that gets me through. All right, listen, have a great Monday, everybody. Enjoy the day if you can. The weather's a bit better, isn't it? We'll be